based on your NAT type of questions of GATE Economics and of your IIT JAM Economics. Okay, beta, let's look at the question. It says your function is given by xy and function goes from r square to r. Then the maximum value of the function on the ellipse x square plus y square is equal to 1 is. There are two ways to solve this question, beta. Let us go ahead and let us look into the first way. So the first technique to solve this question is the following. Beta, your function is z is equal to xy. And you're given that x square plus 2y square is equal to 1. So from here, can you tell me what will be x? X will be 1 minus 2y square under root. You can go ahead and plug this value here. So your z will come as 1 minus 2y square under root into y. Everything is in terms of y. Find out the maxima. Dy by dz by dy. So differentiate the first function. This will be minus 4y into second as it is, plus differentiate the second into first as it is and equate it to 0. Okay, beta. So what will you get? You will get minus 4y square upon 1 minus 2y square under root plus 1 minus 2y square under root is equal to 0. So what will you get from here, beta? Minus 2y square plus 1 minus 2y square is equal to 0. So 1 minus 4y square is equal to 0. So 1 will be 4y square. So y square will be 1 by 4. So y will be 1 by 2. Y will be 1 by 2, right? And if y is 1 by 2, it says, what is it saying? It says the maximum value of function. So beta, your x was defined by this now, 1 minus 2y square under root. So x will be 1 minus 2, 1 by 2 whole square under root. So this will be 1 minus 2, 1 by 4 under root. So this will be 1 by root 2. And what is the value of your function? Your function is x into y. So it will be 1 by 2 into 1 by root 2. So 1 by 2 root 2. Better please check, make sure that you check that the second derivative is less than 0. Only then it is a maximum. Okay. There is another method to do such questions. So if you see, beta, you are given x square plus 2y square is equal to 1. This is your constraint that you are given. What you can do is you can write it like this. So this will be x square plus under root 2 into y whole square is equal to 1. But this is like an equation of the circle. So that means of radius 1. So that means that x will be cos theta. Right? So usually what is x? X is r cos theta, but radius is 1. So it will be cos theta. And beta y is r sin theta. Radius is 1. So it will be sin theta. So I have to equate. So beta kya equate karenge? X ka coefficient 1 hai na. So I will equate cos theta to 1 into x. Hai na? This is x whole square na. And I will equate sin theta to 2y. Root 2y. So what will be your function now? Beta, your function, it is x into y. Hai na? Your function, it is x into y. Right, beta? So, your function ka value yahan se kya aa jayega, beta? X is cos theta. And beta, y kya aa jayega? Y is going to be sin theta by under root 2. This will be y. Hai na? इसको मैं बीच में हटा देती हूँ so that you understand these are two separate steps. पहले मैंने आपको बस ये समझाया है and then I have tried to find out the value. So y beta becomes sin theta by root 2. So this will be sin theta. कभी कभी ना ये method बहुत useful रहेगा by root 2. Now what can I do? I can multiply and divide by 2. So if I multiply and I divide by 2, what will I get? I will get 2 sin theta cos theta by 2 root 2. तो बच्चे ये हो जाएगा sin 2 theta by 2 root 2. And we know that this takes, sin 2 theta takes the maximum value of we know that this takes the maximum value when this is going to be 1 by 2 root 2, right? So the answer can be found out using either method. या तो आप ये method से कर लो that this function takes the maximum value at, so this is maximum, sign can be between 0 to 1 ना, so ये numerator 1 हो गया, maximum value इसकी 1 हो गई, and denominator में 2 root 2 है, so xy का value आ गया 1 by 2 root 2, that's the maximum value it can take, or you can do simply by the method of differentiation, up to you. So this is an important question.
Go ahead and take some questions related to functions. So consider this question first. You're given a function g of x as x squared plus x minus 1, and you're given g of f of x as this. And the question is asking you to find f of 5 by 4. Now, to find the value of the function evaluated at 5 by 4, you first will have to find that function. You have to find what f of x is. And in order to find out f of x, you'll begin with this. So g of f of x, if this is given as 4x squared minus 10x plus 5, then you have g, this is nothing but g of f of x. You take f of x and you put here in the g function. So this is given to you as 4x squared minus 10x plus 5. So imagine what we are doing. We are saying you had a function f of x. When you put this function in the gx function, it is given to you as x squared plus x minus 1. You got this, which means that wherever x is given, you substituted it with the function. And once you substituted it, the final answer that you got was 4x squared minus 10x plus 5. So you just have to find out what this function is, right? What is this fx, which when substituted in the function gives you this. Now, the best way to do this is, why don't we bring this in exactly this form? If I'm able to bring this part in this form, I will be able to get my value of the function. So what I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, 4x squared minus 10x plus 5. Let's rewrite this as 4x squared minus 8x minus 2x plus 4 plus 1. Let's say that this is 4x squared minus 8x plus 4 minus 2x plus 1. This is nothing but 2x minus 2 whole square minus 2x plus 1. You can also write it as 2 minus 2x whole square. It's the same thing. Anything should work, right? If you open 2 minus 2x whole square, you will get 4 plus 4x squared minus 8x. This is nothing but 2 minus 2x squared, 2x whole square. And now, if I go ahead, can I do some more manipulations and write this as minus 2x plus 2 minus 2 plus 1. I've just added and subtracted 2 here. So this will be 2 minus 2x whole square minus 2. So minus 2x plus 2 minus 1. So this will be 2 minus 2x whole square plus 2 minus 2x minus 1. Is this fine? I am doing some very basic manipulations. First of all, I wrote this minus 10x as minus 8x minus 2x. I wrote this 5 as 4 plus 1. Because I want to bring square of something here. That is why I did this. Then I brought 4x square, 8x and 4 together and I got this term. And this became square of 2 minus 2x square. I wanted that same thing here also. So in order to bring that, I added and subtracted 2. And when I did this, then this part became 2 minus 2x. And then I had 1 here. If you compare it with this now, the function that you had f of x whole square plus f of x minus 1 is equal to this. This is, both of them are exactly synonymous. So this is the whole square of 2 minus 2x. This is the same term that is coming here, and then you have minus 1 coming here. So from here, it's clear that the function is 2 minus 2x. This is the value of your function. And now you want to find out the value of your function at 5 by 4. This will be 2 minus 2 into 5 by 4, which will be 2 minus 5 by 2, which will be minus half. So the answer to this question is minus half. Okay, take the next question. It says, find the inverse of function f of x, and the function is given to you as f of 8 to the power 2x minus 8 to the power minus 2x upon 8 to the power 2x plus 8 to the power minus 2x. And the options given to you are 1 by 4 log to the power base e, 1 plus x upon 1 minus x. Second option is 1 by 4 log e to the base 8 log e 1 minus x 1 plus x. The third option given to you is 1 by 4 log 1 minus x upon 1 plus x. And the last option is 1 by 4 log e log 1 plus x upon 1 minus x. Just try this once. You just have to find inverse of the function, then I will do it. Let's do it together now. So the function is y is equal to 8 to the power 2x minus 8 to the power minus 2x upon 8 to the power 2x plus 8 to the power minus 2x. In order to simplify this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write that, okay, 8 to the power 2x minus 1 by 8 to the power 2x, because it has a negative power. So it will be reciprocated upon 8 to the power 2x plus 1 by 8 to the power 2x. So now what I will do is I will bring it, multiply it and make the denominator common. 8 to the power 2x to the power 2 minus 1 upon 8 to the power 2x upon 8 to the power 2x whole square plus 1 upon 8 to the power 2x. So this will get cancelled. So I will have 8 to the power 2x to the power 2 minus 1 upon 8 to the power 2x to the power 2 plus 1. This will be my y. So this will be 8 to the power 4x minus 1 upon 8 to the power 4x plus 1. This is my y. From here, I have to find the value of x. That will be the inverse, right? So, this is y as a function of x. When you find x as a function of y, that will be its inverse. So in order to find the inverse of this thing, what can we do? We can go ahead and we can say that this is going to be 8 to the power 4x upon 8 to the power 4x plus 1 plus 1 upon 8 to the power 4x plus Now, see, whenever you have this kind of fraction, these are some tricks that you should remember. Whenever you have a fraction which is of the form, ideally this is a minus b upon a plus b. One way to write it is this: a upon a minus b upon a plus b, whatever, a plus b. The other way to go ahead and to solve this fraction is to write the same fraction as this: 1 minus 2 upon a plus b. When b is equal to, so ideally this is a minus 1 upon a plus 1, right? So whenever you have this fraction, you can write it in this format. Now this is easy to see, because if my b is 1, then this is just a plus 1 minus 2 upon a plus 1. So this is a minus 1 upon a plus 1. Right? But when I write this a minus 1 upon a plus 1 in this format, 1 upon 2 upon a plus 1, I have simplified it a lot, because now I'm just going to have my x term in this. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to simplify this thing. So I'm going to say if y is equal to 8 to the power 4x minus 1 upon 8 to the power 4x plus 1, a minus 1 upon a plus 1, this is nothing but it is 1 minus 2 upon a plus 1. Simple. You can solve this and check anytime. This is a plus 1 minus 2 upon a plus 1. This is a minus 1 upon a plus 2. So I'm going to rewrite this thing as 1 minus 2 upon 8 to the power 4x plus 1. This will be my y. Now it's simple. I just have to keep solving. So I'll bring this here and this here. So I will have 2 upon 8 to the power 4x plus 1 is equal to 1 minus y. So I will have 8 to the power 4x plus 1. I'll bring this here and this here. Will be 2 upon 1 minus y. So I will have 8 to the power 4x is equal to 2 upon 1 minus y minus 1. So I will have 8 to the power 4x is equal to 2 minus 1 minus y upon 1 minus y. This will be 1 plus y upon 1 minus y. So 8 to the power 4x is equal to 1 plus y upon 1 minus y. I will take log on both sides. Log of 8 to the power 4x will be log of 1 plus y upon 1 minus y. Remember, log m to the power n is n log m. So I will have 4x log 8 is equal to log 1 plus y upon 1 minus y. Okay. So 4x will be 1 upon log 8 into log 1 plus y upon 1 minus y. Remember, this is to the base e. Just remember this. And then x will be 1 by 4 log 8 log 1 plus y upon 1 minus y. So the answer to this one will be D, 1 plus 1 minus. Whenever they give the answer in inverse, just remember, because it's, you usually rechange and you convert y by x, so you will always write the inverse in terms of x only. So you will write it like this. Instead of y, you will just write it in terms of x. So this will be f inverse x. But the important part here is that this all is simple. You're just doing some basic maths. This is what you have to remember. This is where I just used a bit of manipulation. A minus 1, a plus 1, I wrote it as 1 minus 2 upon a plus 1. That is what was difficult here. Okay.
Question 1 on your screen is this. Try to answer this question yourself. Pause your screen. Try to do it yourself. Then I will do this question for you. The mean of 6 number is 30. One of the number is excluded. Mean of the remaining number is 29. Find the excluded number. This is the question that you need to go ahead and solve. Take your time, try to do this question, then I will do this. Dekho beta. Mean of 6 number is 30. So, let those number be A1, A2, A3, A4, A5 and A6. So, A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4 plus A5 plus A6 divided by 6. This is given to you as 30. So what will be A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4 plus A5 plus A6 beta? 30 into 6, that means 180. Okay. It says the mean of 5 number is 29. एक कोई भी एक नंबर हमने हटा दिया. Mean of 5 number is 29. A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4 plus A5 divided by 5 is equal to 29. ठीक है बेटा? A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4 plus A5 will be 29 into 5. This is going to be 145. So what is the remaining number beta? देखो ध्यान से. The sum of 6 numbers is 180. The sum of 5 numbers is 145. तो 6th number क्या होगा? It will be sum of 6 numbers minus sum of 5 numbers. So this will be 35. The correct answer to this question should be 35. It should be 35. Clear hai? Okay, beta. Question number 2 on your screen now. Try to solve this question yourself. Post your answer in the chat window. Then I will do this question. Read the question. The arithmetic mean of n observation is m. N observation का mean m है. If the sum of n minus 4 observation is a, the mean of the remaining 4 observation is. The arithmetic mean of n observation is m. तो मतलब जब मैंने n observation को I from 1 to n divide by n, when I find the mean of n observations, I am getting m. So what will be the sum of these n observations, beta? It will be n into m. Clear? It says the sum of n minus 4 observation is a. ठीक है, तो मतलब जब मैंने इन observations को add करना start किया, but कौन सा? The sum of n minus 4 observations. Try to understand. The sum of n minus 4 observations. माने if I have n observations, तो इसमें से I am finding the sum of n minus 4 observations. So I am excluding the 4 observations. I am excluding observation 1, 2, 3, 4. और from n equal to 5 till n मैंने सारी ले ली. I am taking the sum of n minus 4 observation and its sum is given to me as a. This sum is given to me as a. ठीक है? It says what is the mean of the remaining 4 observation. तो हमें ये बताना है, we need to tell कि what is
x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 divided by 4. The sum of the 4 observations, जो हमने skip करके बाकी observation का sum निकाला तो a आया. So what is the mean of these 4 observations? This is what we have to tell. Am I making sense? ठीक है बेटा. अब क्या करेंगे? We will try to open this up. तो इस sum को हम लिख सकते हैं. We can write this as x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 plus the sum of remaining observation from 5 to n xi, and I have written this as, ये पूरा sum क्या है बेटा? It is n into m. यही तो है. The sum of all n observations, it is n into m. I have written n into m here. Clear? Now, the sum of 5 to n is given to me as a, so this is a beta. Right? So I will get x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 plus a is equal to n into m. So I will get x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 is equal to n into m minus a. So the sum of the 4 observation will be nm minus a. So its mean will be nm minus a by 4. So the correct answer to this question should be A. Am I clear with this? Okay, beta. Next question on your screen now. Read it out. Try to do this question on your own. Then I will do it. Try to answer the question in the chat window. The mean of n items is x bar. If the first item is increased by 1, second by 2, and so on, find the new mean. Mean of n items is x bar. n items का mean x bar है. हर item को हमने बढ़ाया. कैसे? First को by 1, second को by 2, and so on. Find the new mean. So let's see this. Mean of n items. So x1 plus x2 till xn by n. This is given to me as x bar. This is given to me as x bar. अब ये क्या बोल रहा है? That we have gone ahead and we have increased the x's. कैसे increase किया बेटा? New mean. Let new mean be x bar dash. ये कैसे निकाला है? The first observation I have added 1 to it. So it will be x1 plus 1. Second observation I have added 2 to it. x2 plus 2. Nth observation I have added n to it. xn plus n by n. Clear? Clear? अच्छा, I will open this up. Beta, what I will do now, मैं इसको rearrange कर देती हूँ. I'll rearrange it. x1, x2 till xn I will take together. So x1 plus x2 till xn. I have taken this together. Plus 1 plus 2 till n divided by, right? Achha, now let us try to go ahead and tell me what is. Achha, let me just do one more step in between. x1 plus x2 plus xn divided by n. 1 plus 2 till n divided by n. Right? This is the old mean, isn't it? What is the sum of n observations, beta? What is the formula of the sum of n observation? It is n plus 1 by 2. And then this is getting divided by n. I will cancel this out. This will give me x bar plus n plus 1 by 2. This will be your new mean. So your new mean will be old mean plus n plus 1 by 2. C is the correct answer. Clear? Okay, beta. Question number 4. Try to do this question on your own, beta. Then I will do this. Just try this question. Just give me 1 minute, huh? Yeah, I think this is mine. Okay, try to do this question on your own. 4 options are given to you. The mean of income group of person is 400. Another person of group has mean of 480. If mean income of all person in the two group is 430, find the ratio of the number of person in the two group. Take it. Let us try to do this thing. The mean of the income of groups of person is 400. Take it. So when I do, this is group A, but okay. So when I do summation x by n, I get the mean as 400. ये group x है. इनके सारे values को I add, divide by n, I get 400. The mean income of the second group is 480. So when I do summation y by, I'll name this as n1 by n2, number of observation, I get 480. Okay. If the mean income of all person in the two group together is 430. So if I do the sum of all observations together, जितना x और y है सारा एक साथ कर लेते हैं. If I add all observation together and divide by the number of observation, I get the sum as 430. तो देखो बेटा, from here what will I get summation x? 401. What will I get summation y? 480 into. When I add all observation together and divide by the total number of observation, तो जो mean दिया हुआ है that is given as 430. Instead of summation x, I can put 401. Instead of summation y, I can put 480 n2 divided by n1 plus n2. This is 430. So I can just take this here. 400 n1 plus 480 n2 is equal to 430 n1 plus 430 n2. Right? Just solve. Take this here, beta. Take this here. 50 n2 is equal to 30 n1. So n2 by n1 will be 3 by 5. So the ratio will be 3 by 5 or 5 by 3. n1 by n2 nikal lo. Yeah, n1 by n2 will be 5 by 3. n2 by n1 will be 3 by 5. The correct answer to this question is A. Am I clear? Homework question, beta. Homework. Try to answer this question yourself. The weighted mean of first n natural number whose weight is equal to the number of selection out of n natural number is given to you. You need to tell what will be the weighted mean. So it's a homework question. Try to do this yourself. Okay? Clear? Okay, beta. Thank you. Just before I go, hint towards your answer. Hint towards the homework question. Okay, thank you. It says there are 4 men and 5 women in group A. So group A has 4 men and 5 women. And 5 men and 4 women in group B. So group B has 5 men and 4 women. If 4 persons are selected from each group, so there are 9 people here and 9 people here, and I am selecting 4 from each group. The number of ways of selecting 4 men, and in total, I need 4 men and 4 women in this group. Am I clear? Now, there are different ways in which you can go ahead and make different permutations and combinations here, right? So what we can go ahead and do to begin with, we can take case 1, in which I am saying that from group A, I am going to go ahead and select all men. So I need 4 men. So from group A, I will select 4 men. And from group B, I will select all women. That means 4 women. Right? Now try to understand this thing. How many men are there in group A, beta? There are 4 men. I need 4 men. I need to select 4 men. So it can be done in 4 ways. How many women are there, beta, in group B? In group B, there are 4 women. And I need 4 women. So it can be done in 4 ways. So 4 is 1 into 1. That means this can be done in exactly 1 way. Now I take case 2. In case 2, I am saying I will go ahead and I will select 3 men from group A. So I will go ahead and I will select 3 men from group A. And that remaining 1 man, I will go ahead and I will take from group B. So 3 men from group A and 1 man from group B. So how many men are there in group A, beta? 4 men are there. So out of 4, I'm going to select 3. And how many men are there in group B, beta? There are 5 men in group B. So out of 5, I have selected 1. Right? Then what I'm going to go ahead and do, now I need 4 women also. So from group A, I am going to select 1 woman. And from group B, I'm going to select the remaining 3 women. Because the point is that in total, I just need 4 people from each group. So the moment I have selected 3 men from this group, I can only select 1 woman from this group. And the moment I have selected 1 man from this group, I can select 3 women from this group. So 1 woman from group A has 5 women. So out of 5, I need 1 woman. And 3 women from group B. Group B has 4 women. So out of 4, I need 3. So 4C3 means 4 factorial, 3 factorial, 1 factorial. 5C1 means 5 factorial, 1 factorial, 4 factorial. And this is going to be the same, right? So 5 factorial, 1 factorial, 4 factorial, 4 factorial, 3 factorial, 1 factorial. So when you will just solve this, this is 4 into 3 factorial. This is 5 into 4 factorial. This is 5 into 4 factorial. And this is 4 into 3 factorial. So you will get 4 into 5 into 5 into 4. So 20 into 20, that means 400. So you will be getting 400 here. You will be getting 400 here. Is this clear? Okay. The next thing that we can do is we can go ahead and we can select 2 from each group, right? So I can say, okay, I selected 2 men from group A, 2 men from group B, right? So how many men are there in group A? 4. How many men are there in group B? 5. So out of 4, I am selecting 2. Out of 5, I am selecting 2. And then I am saying that I will go ahead and I will select 2 women from each group. So 5 women here and 4 women here. So from group A, I have selected 2 women. And from group B also, I have selected 2. It's a long question, but it's an easy question. So from group A, I have selected 2 women. There are 5 women in group A. And from group B, I have selected 2 women. And there are 4 women in group B, right? Right? So into 4C2. So 4 factorial, 2 factorial, 2 factorial, 5 factorial, 2 factorial, 3 factorial. And this is just repetition of this. So I will just multiply it with 2. It's just getting repeated. I mean, even if you don't want to do it, you can just rewrite this thing. 5 factorial, 2 factorial, 3 factorial, 4 factorial, 2 factorial, 2 factorial. Right? So this is going to be 4 into 3 into 2 factorial, 5 into 4 into 3 factorial. So this and this will get cancelled off. And here you will be getting 2. So this is going to be 6 into 10 into 6 into 10. I mean, not multiply with 2, squaring the thing. I should have said I'm just squaring this thing. It will give me the same answer. Okay, so this is going to give me the answer as 3600. This is going to be the third part to it. Now, I need to take more cases here. So what I can go ahead and what I can do now is I can just go ahead and take the next case, which is going to be where I have, so I have taken 3 men, 2 men, 1 man, 3 women, and from the other group, I will take 3 men and 1 woman. Because total I need 4 women. Total I need 4 men. So 1 man. So now how many men I have in the group 1? 4. So out of 4, I'm selecting 1. How many women I had? 5. So out of 5, I am selecting 3. How many men I had in group 2? 5. In group 2, how many men we have? 5 men. So out of 5,
I need 3. And women, I think we had 4. So out of 4, I need 1. So 4C1 is 4, 5C3 is 10, 5C3 is 10, and 4C1 is 4. Just solve this up. This will give you 1600. Now let's take the last case here, beta. So I am going ahead and I am saying that I am going to have, I started with 4 men. So I will go with 4 women and 4 men in this group. So 4 women, how many women were there? 5 women here and 5 men here. So out of 5, 4, out of 5, 4. So 5C4 is 5 into 5, 25. Now we need the total number of cases here. So the total number of cases will be 1 plus 400 plus 3600, 1 plus 400 plus 3600 plus 1600 plus 25. Okay. Just recheck, the answer should be this is 3600. Sorry. Okay, so just recheck it. The answer that you will be getting, this will be 5626. That should come out as the answer. I hope that this question is clear to you. Such type of questions are very common in the IIT exam, NAT part. So you need to go ahead and practice such kind of questions. Okay, beta. Thank you. Question of the day, देखो. Let the system of equations be. You are given 3 equations. 3 equation आपको दी हुई है. X plus alpha y plus z is equal to 1. 2x plus 4y plus z is equal to minus b. 3x plus y plus 2z is equal to b plus 2. Has infinitely many solution, then value of 2a plus 8b is. अगर इसके infinitely many solution है तो हमें 2a plus 8b का value निकालना है. We have to find the value of 2a plus 8b. ठीक है बेटा, तो let us look at the equations first. तो क्या बोल रहा है? x plus alpha y plus z. This is not alpha, हाँ? या alpha ले लो या a. Take this as the same thing, okay, बेटा? Plus ay plus z is equal to 1. 2x plus 4y plus z is equal to minus b. 3x plus 1y plus 2z is b plus 2. But we know for infinitely many solution, the determinant of this matrix should be 0. So 1, A, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 1, 2. इसका determinant निकाल लेते हैं. What will we get? Equal to 0. 1, 8 minus 1 minus a, 4 minus 3 plus 1, 2 minus 12 equal to 0. 1, 7 minus a, 1 plus 1 minus 10 equal to 0. 7 minus 10 minus 3 minus a equal to 0. A equal to minus 3. A equal to minus 3. ये हमारा part 1 हो गया. We have found the value of a. अच्छा, now we know that whenever we write this in the augmented matrix format for infinitely many solution, we know that अगर जो last row है, if it is of zeros, the right hand side should also be zeros. ये हमने पढ़ा है that if the last row is zeros, then the right hand side should also be 0 बेटा. तो 1, a की जगह पे I will plug the value minus 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 1, 2, and यहाँ पे आ जाएगा 1 minus b, b plus 2. Let us convert this matrix in the REF format. convert this matrix in the RREF format. तो बेटा R2 goes to R2 minus 2R1, R3 goes to R3 minus 3R1. तो क्या आ जाएगा 1 minus 3 1 1, 2 minus 2 0, 4 minus 2 times minus 3, 4 plus 6 10, 1 minus 2 times 1, 1 minus 2 minus 1, minus b minus 2 times 1 2, 3 minus 3 0, 1 minus 3 times minus 3, 1 plus 9 10, and 2 minus 3 times 1, so minus 1, और ये हो जाएगा b plus 2 minus 3, तो b minus 1. क्लियर बेटा? क्लियर? ठीक है, अब हम कर सकते हैं R3 goes to R3 minus R2. तो क्या मिल जाएगा 1 minus 3 1, 0 10 minus 1 0 0 0 1, minus b minus 2, b minus 1 minus minus b minus 2, b minus 1 plus b plus 2, 2b minus plus 1, 2b plus 1. ठीक है बेटा, I want that this should be 0 because यहाँ पे zeros आ रहे हैं ना. So for infinitely many solution in the RREF format, if the left hand side is 0, you will need the right hand side to be 0. 2b plus 1 0, b will be minus half. ठीक है बेटा, what question is asking? What we have to find out? 2a plus 8b. 2a plus 8b. 2a plus 8b minus 6 minus 4 minus 10. So the correct answer to this question will be minus 10. It will be minus 10. Is this clear beta? Okay beta, thank you. To look at today's question, beta देखो ध्यान से, you're given a matrix A and it is asking then the sum of all elements of A to the power 100 equal. ठीक है, देखो आपको मैट्रिक्स A दिया हुआ है. So let's find A. Matrix is given to you as 0 1 0 1 0 0 0 0 1. But let's find A square. A square निकाल के देखते हैं. So A square will be A into A. But it will be 0 1 0 1 0 0 0 0 1 into 0 1 0 1 0 0 0 0 1. ठीक है, क्या आ जाएगा बेटा? This will be 0 into 0 plus 1 plus 0 1, 0 into 1 0 plus 0 plus 0 0, 0 plus 0 plus 0 0, 0 plus 0 plus 0 0, 1 plus 0 plus 0 1, 0 plus 0 plus 0 0, 0 plus 0 plus 0 0, 0 plus 0 plus 0 0, 0 plus 0 plus 1 1. Right beta? ये a square आ रहा है. We are getting this as a square. Let me just check if I have written it correctly or not. 0 1 0 1 0 0 0 0 1. ठीक है, तो a square आ गया आइडेंटिटी मैट्रिक्स 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. तो बेटा एक बात बताओ, what will be a to the power 4? It will be a square into a square, right? 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1 into 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. So beta what will you get? 1 plus 0 plus 0 1, 0 plus 0 plus 0 0, 0 plus 0 plus 0 0, 0 plus 0 plus 0 0, 0 plus 1 plus 1 1. You will get this only. Please verify. है ना, ये हो गया a to the power 4. बेटा अगर a to the power 4 निकल गया तो अगेन a to the power 8 भी निकाल सकते हो, राइट? तो a to the power 8 will be a to the power 4 into a to the power 4. You will get same only. Okay? So you will get nothing but you will get identity matrix only. So a to the power 100, maybe you will get identity matrix only. So now you can do the sum of the elements. It will come out as 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3. So the sum of the elements will become 3. Okay, beta? Okay, bacha, thank you. Okay, beta, let us look at today's question. Beta, देखो क्या लिखा है? For real constant a and b, let M be a matrix. So this matrix is given to you. And it says that this is an orthogonal matrix. Okay? Which of the following statement is or are always true? A plus B is 0. B is equal to 1 minus A square. A into B is half minus half and M square is equal to I2. तो देख लेते बेटा. What is an orthogonal matrix? क्या property रहता है orthogonal matrix का? The property of orthogonal matrix that A into A transpose is equal to identity matrix, right? Also, there is another property of orthogonal matrix, which is that the determinant of A is plus minus 1. The determinant of A is plus minus 1. So, beta, यहाँ देखो जरा, if I just do 1 by root 2, 1 by root 2, A, B, and I try to find its determinant, what will I get? 1 by root 2b minus 1 by root 2a, and the determinant is always plus minus 1. So I will get plus minus 1. If I take 1 by root 2 common, b minus a is equal to plus minus 1. So beta b minus a will be plus minus root 2. If I take root 2 here, है ना? तो बेटा b, अगर मैं यहाँ से I want to find the value of b minus a whole square का जरूरत ही नहीं है. If I just find out b will be plus minus root 2 plus a, है ना? माने option number this is incorrect. Option number B is incorrect. ठीक है? अच्छा, now if I go ahead and if I take this further, if I try to take this further beta, so what else can we go ahead and what else can we do? Let us try to go ahead and let us try to find out what happens if I go ahead and if I supposedly square on both sides. ठीक है, अगर हम इसको square on both sides कर देते हैं. So what will happen if I just square this on both sides, beta? So I will get b minus a whole square is equal to 2. So b square plus a square minus 2ab is equal to 2. है ना? So what will I go ahead and what will I get, beta? I will get that b square plus a square is equal to 2 plus 2ab is equal to 2 plus 2ab. ठीक है? अच्छा, अब this also is not making a lot of sense as of now. अभी तक तो इसका भी कोई सेंस नहीं मिल रहा. So I will use the third property to check if anything can be done. Right? So A is given to you as 1 root 2, 1 root 2, A and B. And if I just transpose this matrix, I will get 1 root 2, 1 root 2, A and B. And this should give me identity matrix 1, 0, 0, 1. So if I start solving this beta, 1 root 2 into 1 root 2 is 1 by 2 plus 1 root 2 into 1 root 2 is 1 by 2. 1 by root 2 a plus 1 by root 2 into a plus 1 by root 2 into b. देखो, इसको इससे multiply करो plus इसको इससे. 1 by root 2 into a plus 1 by root 2 into b. Beta 1 by root 2 into a plus 1 by root 2 into b and a square plus b square. I think now it is solved. This should be equal to 1, 0, 0, 1. It should be equal to 1, 0, 0, 1. So माने a square plus b square will come out as 1. A square plus b square should be 1. So from this beta, if I just put a square plus b square as 1 here, I'll get 1 is equal to 2 plus 2ab. This can go here. -1 is equal to 2ab. So ab will be minus half. A into b will be minus half. है ना? So which means that this option is correct. A into b will be minus half. अच्छा, अब अगर हम इसको equal to 0 कर दें तो what will I get? 1 by root 2a plus 1 by root 2b will be a, 0. So if I take 1 by root 2 common, beta, 1 by root 2 common, I will get a plus b is equal to 0. Mane, I will get a plus b is equal to 0. I'll get a plus b is equal to 0. So beta, which means that option number A is also correct. A plus b is in fact 0. है ना? And बेटा अगर आप a into a करोगे तो I नहीं होता है. A into a transpose I होता है, which means that option D is incorrect. So the correct options are A and C. The correct options are A and C. ठीक है? Okay, beta. Thank you.
That I'm going to give you today, beta, are going to be true-false questions. For each question, I will give you 5 minutes to solve the question. You can tell me whether the answer will be true or false, and then I will move on to the next question. So, question of the day. Okay. So, if Mohit utility function Mohit's utility function is given by xy, and Seema's utility function is given by u is equal to root of xy, right? Then Mohit will always derive more happiness than Seema. Please take care of my writing. So Mohit will always derive more happiness than Seema does from any combination of x and y. So beta, this is the question. You have to go ahead and try to solve this. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to solve this question. Just made up this question. So the question is, you have to tell me whether this statement is true or false. If Mohit's, this is based on one of the IIT JAM mock papers series that we have in our course. So if Mohit's utility function is u is equal to xy and Seema's utility function is root xy, then Mohit will always derive more happiness than Seema for any combination of x and y. I'm giving you 2 minutes to solve this question. Jot down your answer, think about what the answer can be, then I will solve it with you. Tell me whether this is a true statement or false. Just try to think about it, please. So take a moment, think whether this statement is true or false. You can write your answers below and you can tell me whether the statement is true or false. The statement is this. Mohit's utility function is u is equal to xy and Seema's utility function is u is equal to root xy. You have to tell me whether Mohit will always derive more happiness than Seema for any combination of x, y. Is this true or not? Okay, now I will answer the question for you, beta. So this is a test of how well you are doing in your preparation, how close you are to IIT JAM. As I told you, we have already covered the consumer theory I'm going to start with uncertainty and then the producer theory, but this is a test on consumer theory, how well you are performing currently for your IIT preparation. ठीक है? अच्छा, solution देखो. But the solution to this is that this is a false statement. Why? Because we know that X and Y, they represent consumption of the two goods. है कि नहीं है? X and Y represent consumption of the two goods. But all that we know is that X and Y should be positive. But imagine a scenario where X into Y is less than 1. Imagine a scenario where X into Y is less than 1. Suppose X and Y is still positive. X represents the consumption of good X. Y represents the consumption of good Y. Now X into Y is less than 1. So imagine a case where beta X into Y, let's say, is 0.5. Right? So what is the utility of Mohit? Mohit's utility function is X into Y. So Mohit will get the utility X into Y, which in this case will be 0.5. What will be the utility of Seema? Seema will get the utility root xy, na? So root of xy. So it will be root of 0.5 and root of 0.5 is 0.7. So in this case, utility of Seema is more than utility of Mohit. So although from the utility function, you may think that, xy is always greater than root xy, but that is not always true. The reverse is also possible. So the current statement is false. That is the first question of the day. Is that clear? ठीक है बेटा.
First question on your screen is this. Try to do this question yourself. Write the answer to this question in the chat window. Then I will go ahead and solve this question. You are given a matrix A. A is 1, 0, half, 1. And you're asked to find out what will be A to the power 50. And you are given 4 options. Right? You're given 4 options. Try to do this question on your own. I'll give you a minute. So this is your A beta. What will be A square? It will be A into A. So 1 into 1 plus 0 into half 1. 1 into 0 plus 0 into 1, 0. Half into 1 plus 1 into half, half plus half, 1. Half into 0 plus 1 into 1, 1. This will be your A square. Find out A cube beta. A cube will be A square into A. This will be 1 into 0 into half, which means 1. 1 into 0 plus 0 into 1, 0. 1 into 1 plus 1 into half, 3 by 2. And 1 into 0 plus 1 into 1, 1. Can you see the pattern? The pattern that we see is that A to the power n, here it is A to the power 1, A to the power 2, A to the power 3, will be 1, 0, n by 2 and 1. Isn't it? Isn't it? This is power was 1, half. Power is 2, 1. Power is 3. 1 is 2 by 2, right? 3 by 2. So when the power will be 50 beta, what will happen? 1, 0, 50 by 2 is 25 and 1. Right? So the correct answer to this question should be this. Okay? It will be 1, 25, 0 and 1. All right. The second question on your screen. Now, try to do this question. It says you are given a matrix A such that A square is equal to 2A minus I. I is unit matrix. A to the power n will be. Try to do this question. Tell me which of the option is correct. Post it in the chat window. Okay, let's try to write. A square is 2A minus I. What will be A cube, beta? A square into A. 2A minus I into A. 2A square minus I into A. 2A square minus A. A square is 2A minus I. 2A minus I minus A. 4A minus 2I minus A. 3A minus 2I. 3A minus 2I. Are we seeing some pattern as of now? Let's find out one more, then it will be easy. I'll find out A to the power 4. A cube into A. A cube is 3A minus 2I into A. 3A square minus 2A. A square is 2A minus I. 3. 2A minus I minus 2A. 6A minus 3I minus 2A. 4A minus 3I. Now, yes, if this is 2, here you see 2 and here you see 1. If this is 3, here you see 3, here you see 2. If this is 4, here you see 4, here you see 3. So if this is n, here you will see n and here you will see n minus 1. Here you will see n minus 1. That's the answer to this question. So correct answer will be A. Clear? Okay, beta. Question on your screen now. Try to do this question on your own. I thought to make it a bit difficult, I removed the options. Try to do this. The product of n matrix, you're given these n matrix, is equal to 1, 378, 0 and 1. Find the value of n. Find the value of n. Try to do this question yourself. Pause your screen for a second. Try to do this yourself, beta. Then I will do this question. Okay? Okay. Now what we will do, we will just look at first two observation beta. I am getting 1, 0, 1, 1 into 1, 2, 0, 1. Of course, this is getting multiplied with others. But if I just find the product, I will get 1 into 1 plus 1 into 0, 1. 1 into 2 plus 1 into 1, 2 plus 1, 3. 0 into 1 plus 1 into 0, 0. 0 into 2 plus 1 into 1, 1. Which is the third observation. Which is the third observation. So I see that the product of the first two observation is the third observation. But there is something very interesting happening. If I find the product of first two, I've got this. If I just multiply, if I just go ahead and multiply this with the third observation, I will get this as 1 into 1 plus 3 into 0, 1. 1 into 3 plus 3 into 3, 6. 1 into 0 into 1 plus 1 into 0, 0 and 1. So when I find the product of first two observation, I am getting this third observation. And if you look into this third observation, it is 1, 3, 0, 1. तो देखो यहाँ पे जो मेरा product आ रहा है ना, what product I am getting ना, that product, if I find the product of these two observation, it is coming 1, 0, 1, 3. So if I just compare, each of these have 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. This is 1 here and this is 2 here and product is coming 3. So product is coming 1 plus 2. Making sense? Similarly, this was product of first two observation. First observation and second observation. When I multiplied it with the third observation, so notice that these three elements are same. And in the answer that I am getting finally, also I see 1, 0, 1. But here I am getting 6. And 6 is 1 plus 2 plus 3. So if there are n observations, if I am multiplying till n, what will be the product? Can anyone tell me? 1, 0, 1, 1 plus 2 plus 3 till n. That will be the product, right? And this beta will be nothing but sum of n observation is n plus 1 by 2 and this. And the final matrix is given to me as 1, 0, 1, 378. So this final matrix is 1, 0, 1 and here I have 378. I can do the comparison. I can just compare. So n plus 1 by 2 will be equal to 378. Just give me a minute. Sometimes the pen shows tantrums, right? So n square plus n is equal to 378 into 2. Quadratic equation. Just solve it. So when you will be solving this, you will get n as 27. That's the answer to this question. Good question. Tricky one. Right? This is the kind of questions that are asked in ISI. So good one. Okay, beta. At last, homework question for you. You're given A is 0 alpha 0 0. Right? You're given A plus I to the power 50 minus 50A is this. You need to find out A plus B plus C plus D. It's a homework question. Try to post your answers in the chat window. What will be A plus B plus C plus D? Okay? Okay, beta. Thank you. So please go ahead and try to solve this question on your own. And then I will be discussing the solution to this question. So you are given a function and the function is defined in two ways. Whenever x is less than 2, the function takes its value as 5x minus 4. And whenever x is greater than or equal to 2, the function takes its values as 2x square minus 1. So this is when x is less than 2 and this is when x is greater than or equal to 2. The aim is to go ahead and find what happens to the function when limit x tends to 2. So when x tends to 2, you need to give me the answer as to what would be the value of the function. I'm giving you a minute to go ahead and solve this. Try to do this yourself before I go ahead and solve this question. Take it, beta. Just try this once. Go ahead and post your answers in the chat window. I will be having a look at it. Always remember, whenever you go ahead and find a limit as x tends to something, first check whether limit exists or not. So the first thing that any one of you should be doing is to check whether the limit exists or not. Only when the limit will exist, then you can find the limit. Now, so you need to go ahead and, okay, so the answer you're saying is 6. So we need to go ahead and check whether the limit exists or not. So let us go ahead and try to find that out. In order to check whether limit exists or not, what should I be doing? But I should be going ahead and I should be finding what happens limit when x tends to 2 minus. That means I am approaching it from the left hand side. So when I approach it from the left hand side, then everywhere instead of x, I will go ahead and I will replace it with 2 minus h and 10 h to 0. And beta, wherever I have the right hand limit, I will convert it into limit x tends to 2 plus and I will just replace it with 2 plus h and then it will become h tends to 0. So those are my first steps that I have to do. Always first check whether limit exists or not. If limit exists, then you will put that x in the function and find the limit. Okay, beta? So we need to check that first. So let us go ahead and do that here in this case also. So in this case, when I go ahead and I put 2 minus, ये देखो क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पर? I substituted, instead of x, I am plugging in 2 minus h. And then, you know, my function was 5x minus 4. And this x is now becoming 2 minus h. So instead of x, I have written 2 minus h. And then h is tending to 0. Okay, beta. तो ये क्या हो जाएगा बेटा? This will become 10 minus 5h minus 4 and h tends to 0. So now when instead of h I will put 0, what will I get? 10 minus 0 minus 4, that means I will get 6. So I understand that the left hand limit that I have, that is actually 6. Now go ahead and try to find out the right hand limit. तो राइट हैंड लिमिट के लिए मेरा फंक्शन बदल रहा है. माय फंक्शन वाज डिफरेंट ना. सो व्हेन आई गो एंड चेक द राइट हैंड लिमिट, आई सी दैट बेटा माय फंक्शन it was 2x square minus 1. So for the right hand side, when x is greater than or equal to 2, I have my function as 2x square minus 1. So I need to go ahead and I need to put that in my function. So my function में मेरा value हो जाएगा 2 plus h and my function will be 2x square minus 1. So everywhere instead of x I will put 2 plus h. So what will I get beta? I will get 2 plus h whole square minus 1 and again limit h tends to 0. So h will go to 0. So when you plug in 0 here, what will you get? 2 square will be 4 minus 1. So 2 into 3, that will be 6. So what we see here is that the right hand limit is also 6. The left hand limit is also 6. So limit exists. Now this is what we have proved, that limit exists. And what is the answer to the question? What is the value? Of course it is nothing but 6. So everyone who answered 6, you are correct. And I know that all of you would have simply gone ahead and put 2 here. yahi 2 dal diya hoga because x is equal to 2 is coming here. That is fine beta, but the idea is for you to first check whether limit exists or not. पहले ये check जरूर करो and we know that limit exists. So now let us go to the next question. Question number 2 for the day is this. Try to do this question on your own first, then I will do it. So it is asking you find limit x tends to 1. No, it is given to you that limit x tends to 1. fx minus 2 upon fx plus 2. This is given to you as 0. And they are asking you to find out what will be limit x tends to 1 fx. Okay, beta? So you are already given this and you have to find out what happens to limit x tends to 1 fx. I am giving you a moment. Try to solve this yourself. Then we will do it together. Just try to do this. Post your answers on the chat window. So I have to go ahead and use a very important rule here, that when I say limit x tends to a fx by gx, है ना बेटा? So I can go ahead and I can just put this limit separately in the numerator and separately in the denominator. So beta, this can become limit x tends to a fx by limit x tends to a gx. So whenever you have limit for the fraction, you can take it separately to the numerator and separately to the denominator. तो यही हम यहाँ पे करने वाले हैं. That is exactly what I am going to go ahead and do. So have a quick look at this solution that I have done. So here I was given that I want to go ahead and I want to tend the limit for the fraction, है ना? So what can I do? I can take this limit separately to the numerator, take this limit separately to the denominator. तो बेटा जब numerator में दी तो मेरा आ गया limit x tends to 1 fx minus 2. Constant की limit तो नहीं लगेगी. So it will be limit x tends to 1 fx minus 2. And similarly, when I take this in the denominator, what will I get? I will get limit x tends to 1 fx plus 2. So what I have done is, the limit which existed for the fraction, I have taken that limit separately for numerator and separately for denominator. अलग अलग हमने दोनों के लिए ले ली है. Now beta, just notice that this is given to me that this is equal to 0. है ना? This is equal to 0. So beta, if numerator by denominator is equal to 0, can I just take denominator here? Yes, ma'am. So numerator will simply be 0 into denominator. 0 into denominator means 0 only. So that means I can simply equate numerator to 0. So that is what I have done in the next step. That if this fraction is equal to 0, that simply means that the numerator is equal to 0. So I get limit x tends to 1, fx minus 2 is equal to 0. But can I take 2 on the right hand side? I can. And that is exactly what I have gone ahead and I have done in the next step. So in the next step, what I have done is, if limit x tends to 1 fx minus 2 is 0, this means that limit x tends to 1 fx will be 2. So the correct answer to this question should simply be 2. That limit x tends to 1 fx, that is going to be 2. Is that clear? Everyone tell me a yes or no. I hope this is making sense to you. Come to question number 3. Again, I will give you some time. Try to solve this yourself, then I will do it better. Take a moment. Try to do it yourself first. So you are given that limit x tends to 4 minus x upon 2 minus root x. You have to find this value. Very simple. Try to do this yourself. Give me the answer to this question. What should this be? I am giving you a hint. Try to write numerator as a factor. So try to use this rule that a square minus b square will be a minus b into a plus b. बेटा if you directly solve this, you will get 0 by 0 form ना. अगर x को directly यहाँ लिखा, अगर x की जगह पे यहाँ पे 4 और यहाँ 4 लिख दिया, तो you will get 0 by 0 form. That is not right. So you should try and use a square minus b square, which is nothing but a minus b into a plus b, and try to solve this. So let me know what the answer should be. Okay. So you are saying answer should be 4. Let's see if that's correct. Okay, so let's start. So see that beta numerator has been broken down into a minus b, a plus b. So how can I do that? Very simple. So I have 4 minus x, that means 2 minus root x into 2 plus root x. A minus b, a plus b is a square minus b square. तो बेटा न्यूमरेटर को हमने ऐसे लिख लिया. Denominator is 2 minus root x. So what happens? This and this gets cancelled. And what do I get? I get limit x tends to 4, 2 plus root x. Only this is left. Right? Now you can just put 4 instead of x. So instead of x, if you put 4, what will you get? 2 plus root 4, that means 2 plus 2, that means 4. So the correct answer to this question is simply 4. It is simply 4. Everyone is okay with it? Everyone is clear? I'll move on to the next question. Let's start with it. Okay, so the next question is this. What is going to be limit x sine 1 by x? You need to give me the answer to this question. Limit x into sine 1 by x will be. I am giving you a moment. Try to do this yourself, then I will do this. X sine 1 by x. I am waiting for your answer. Please remember that the rule that we have with sine is not with sine 1 by x beta. It is with sine x. But I am here asking what will be x sine 1 by x. Not sine x by x. Try to think about it. Okay, anyone else? Any idea whether it should be 1, -1, 0 or minus infinity? Let's try this. So what I am doing here is I am trying to do a bit of substitution, huh? Sorry. So what I have done here is I have taken let x is equal to 1 by y. Let x is equal to 1 by y. So beta, if x is 1 by y, then that means y is 1 by x, right? That means when x tends to infinity, then 1 by infinity means 0. So y will go towards 0. So I am saying when x tends to infinity, y tends to 0. Y goes to 0 when x goes to infinity. So beta, now I have replaced it. Instead of x going to infinity, I have written y going towards 0. Instead of 1 by x, I have written y. And instead of x, I have written 1 by y. ध्यान से समझना है, रूल इसके लिए है, साइन x by x के लिए, साइन 1 by x के लिए रूल नहीं था directly that it will be 1. No, we don't know anything about it now. So what happened here? But we know that limit x tends to 0, sin x by x, this is 1. But हमें क्वेश्चन में दूसरी चीज पूछी गई है, x is going towards infinity, right? And I have 1 by x there, right? So I do a bit of manipulation. I say that okay, let y be 1 by x. So if x goes to infinity, then y will go to 1 by infinity, that means 0. So now I have been able to convert this, that when x goes to infinity, y must have been going to 0. And if y is 1 by x must have been 1 by y. So instead of x, I just go ahead and write 1 by y. And instead of 1 by x, I just write y. Now I have got this form, that y is going towards 0 and this is sin y by y. So this should simply be 1. So the correct answer to this is 1, that this goes towards 1. Is that clear? Everyone, are you able to understand this? Okay. Come to the next question. Again, try to solve this yourself and then I will do it. It's a pretty easy question. The value of k such that limit exists everywhere is. So take a moment, try to solve this question yourself, beta. What should be the value of k such that the limit exists everywhere? Please try to do this. So when limit exists, just use the rule that the left hand side and the right hand side should be the same. Left hand limit and right hand limit should give you the same answer. I can only check my limit at 2. Try to do that. Tell me what the answer should be. Okay. So when I approach my function from anything less than 2, the function I am using is 2x plus 3. तो इसमें 2 डाल के देखते हैं what will come. So when I put, let me zoom this a bit. Okay, beta. So start. When I approach my function from anything less than 2, then my function that I have is 2x plus 3. So what happens when I go ahead and I put it from this side? Beta, 2x plus 3. I am putting x as 2, so I will get 2 into 2 plus 3. So it will be 4 plus 3, that means 7. When I put 2 in this side of the function, because left hand and right hand have to be equal, what will I get? Instead of x, put 2, 2 plus k. For the limit to exist, your values from left hand side and right hand side should be equal. That means if one is giving me 7, the other should also give me 7. So 2 plus k should be equal to 7. So k should be equal to 5. So the correct answer to this question is 5. That limit will exist only when the left hand side and the right hand side are equal to each other. Okay, beta, now what I am doing is I am just going ahead and giving you one homework for you to try. Please write down the question and you should try it on your own. Okay, so the question that is there is the following, beta. You need to go ahead and find limit x tends to infinity root x plus root x minus root x. You need to find the value of limit x tends to infinity root of x plus inside root you again have root minus root of x, and you have some options given to you, so I am giving you those options also. So the first option that we have, that is 1. The second option that we have is half. The third option we have is 1 by 3, and the fourth option we have is 1 by 4. So please try to solve this question and post your answers in the comment section. You need to find the limit of x tending to infinity. Okay, beta, thank you. To go ahead and do one session on business cycles. But this is a very important topic, and if you look into your GATE syllabus, you can see that business cycles are referred as part of that syllabus. Similarly, this is also a very important topic when it comes to your CUET exam. In your CUET entrance exam also, this topic can definitely come. I will show you a few questions today, the kind of questions that can be asked from this topic. Okay. So before I go into this topic, beta, let us just try to understand the business cycle once. We have, when the economy is going through this upward phase, this upward prices are also growing, demand is growing. So the phase of expansion is when everything is positive, everything is growing. Then we go ahead and we reach a phase which is known as the peak. Peak means the highest point. It means that you have your maximum full employment level, you have your maximum level of output, you have your prosperity all around, right? And then you start with the period of contraction. Period of contraction means what? That people start losing out their jobs, that the demand starts falling, prices starts falling, which is followed by a period of drop or a period of depression. Depression means what? When I talk about depression, it means that you are at the lowest point in your economy. Very less people are employed, people don't have bargaining power as part of asking for good income, wages are falling, prices are falling, and you need some stimulus from the side of government also. You need some fiscal policies, some monetary policies, etc. Right, beta? Acha. Now I have brought in some questions that are going to be related to this business cycle concept, whatever we have discussed now. Let us look into the first question, beta. So the first question is the following. It says there is full employment of resources and production is at its maximum is a period of. So go ahead and try to answer this question for me. You have to go ahead and tell me which is that period where you have full employment level of resources and production is at its maximum. Now, many students, of course, I know that the contraction period cannot be true, but many students tend to think that the answer to this question should be D. It is both peak and expansion. That is what is confusing. That is what is incorrect. Why? Because when I talk about period of expansion, as I mentioned to you, there is increasing jobs. Jobs तो बढ़ रही हैं. There is increasing employment. Employment भी बढ़ रही है. But employment is increasing. In economics, we have a concept of full employment level. You haven't attained that full employment level yet. You are increasing the employment opportunities, right? But here the question is asking me that you have full employment, jobs are at its maximum. So which means that I have been at my peak in the economy. So the correct answer to this question should be A. It should be peak, not the phase of expansion. Expansion mein, yes, jobs are increasing, production is increasing, but they are not at their maximum. So it should be, the answer should be peak. Okay, beta. Come to the next question. I hope you are able to see the question completely. So try to answer this question now. So the question says the following. It says output prices also rises rapidly, leading to increased cost of living and greater strain on fixed income, and income earner is a phase of. So what is it saying? एक बारी देख लो ध्यान से क्वेश्चन को. It says output prices also rises rapidly, leading to increased cost of living. So cost of living is increasing and greater strain on the fixed income. So fixed income earners, they have higher strain on their income. They have higher strain on themselves. Which is that phase? Try to answer this question. Which is that phase where output prices are rising rapidly, where the cost of living is very high, and where you have greater strain on the income level? Just try to think about it. Try to answer this question. So I know most of you will again be confused between A and B. Try to think. What should be the answer to this question? Okay, let us look into it. So, just see here. See. Let me go ahead and talk during the period of expansion. ध्यान से समझना इस स्टोरी को. During the period of expansion, what happens? What is happening? Beta, the demand is increasing. When demand is increasing, it is putting pressure on the output. यहाँ देखो. Something like this, huh? This is my demand. This is my supply. During the period of expansion, the demand is increasing. When the demand is increasing, it is increasing the price. When the price is increasing, your real income, W by P, P is increasing, so your real income is decreasing. So this is a phase where your real income is decreasing, demand is increasing, prices are increasing. Real income क्यों decrease हो रही है? Because according to the question it says that you have fixed income earners. So nominal income is fixed. That is what the question is saying. So you should be thinking that the answer is expansion, because during expansion ही तो demand बढ़ रही है. Fine, absolutely correct. But beta, price rises rapidly लिखा हुआ है. And when does price rise rapidly? It rises during the peak. Why? Because once you have attained your peak, you are at your full employment level. Everybody is employed. So you are at maximum output possible. You cannot increase the output. तो सोचो क्या हुआ उस केस में बेटा? When in my economy I am at my maximum output, so ma'am, what will happen here is my AS curve will become vertical. My supply is fixed. I am at full employment level. So in that case, whenever you increase demand, it will increase price more. देखो, if my AS curve would have been upward sloping, the usual AS curve, मतलब ये, है ना? Then in that case, you would have seen, if this would have been my AS curve, my price would have increased, but price would have increased from P to P double dash. इतना ही बढ़ता, right? But because the moment demand would have increased, suppliers would have tried to go ahead and supply for that demand. जो demand बढ़ रही है उसके against they could have increased the output also. But now when I am at my peak, I cannot increase my output. My output is also already at its maximum. मेरा output तो full पे है, इससे ज़्यादा बढ़ ही नहीं सकता. I can't increase my output further. So if I cannot increase my output, then demand is only going to cause inflation. So when will you have maximum strain? You can have maximum strain only when it is a peak situation. These questions are tricky. Whether the answer should be expansion or peak, contraction or depression, that is where you will get confused. So try to understand the concept. I am saying that when I am at peak, my AS becomes vertical and the price strain will be maximum. Okay, beta, come to the next question. Let us try to take the next one. So the next question is the following. Right, so this is your question. During the dash phase, there is fall in level of investment and employment. When does it happen that the investment decreases and the employment also decreases? Contraction, peak, expansion, or both B and C? Just answer this. Try to answer it in the chat window, then I will do it. Okay, let's see. So I am saying that employment is falling. That itself is a hint. People are losing jobs. That can only happen when my economy is contracting, when there is a contraction. So when people lose jobs, their income will fall. When their income will fall, they will save less. When they will save less, investment will be less in the economy. So we know that investment and employment are falling, implies that it is a period of contraction. Right, beta? So answer to this question should be contraction. Okay, let us come to the next question. So the next question is the following. During dash phase of business cycle, growth rate becomes negative and national income declines rapidly. So which is the phase when growth rate becomes negative? Hint, growth rate is becoming negative and national income is declining rapidly. But again, I am telling you, I know you will be confused between depression and recession. Peak तो नहीं हो सकता, national income is falling. Recovery भी नहीं हो सकता. Recovery means you are recovering, income should not fall. So the only confusion that students are going to go ahead and have will be in depression versus recession. Try to answer this, then I will go ahead and answer this question. I am looking into the answers, try and do that. Okay, let's see. So, to do this, I just want you to remember this. That should be enough. See, depression period, as I mentioned to you, The period of depression is also called as the period of draw. When it comes to the growth rate, ये word समझना है, growth rate. The growth rate is increasing in expansion, decreasing in recession, but negative in depression. So when is it negative? In depression. Decrease करता है recession में, but it is negative in depression. So out of depression and recession, the answer to this question will be depression. Draw the minimum point that I have reached in my economy. That happens at A. So the answer to this question should be depression. Please try to understand the concepts well. Okay, we'll move on to the next question. So the next question that I have is the following. Okay, beta, this is my next question. The external causes, external means exogenous. So all of us know that there are two kinds of factors. One is exogenous, outside the model. One is endogenous, determined within the model. This is saying the external causes or exogenous factors which may lead to boom or bust are. So which are the exogenous factors of your business cycle? Go ahead and try to answer it. Fluctuations in demand, fluctuations in income, fluctuations in technology, or the variation in the government spending. So try to answer this question. So which of these are exogenous factors? That is what you have to tell me. Okay. Let us try to do this together. अच्छा देखो, but a business cycle can be mapped in two parts. There are two kinds of factors that I can talk about. One is called external or exogenous factors, and one is called internal or endogenous factors. What are my endogenous factors? पहले वो discuss करते हैं. The first one is fluctuation in demand. Of course, when demand changes, then the prices will change. Inflation, deflation. So when there is more demand, then there will be more price. More price, firms will be wanting to produce more. More production, more employment and more output. It will keep going on. Business cycle के boom के period को define करेगा. So what we are saying, demand is an internal factor to business cycle. Similarly, all these are internal factors. ये सारे के सारे internal factors हैं. Investment, government spending, macroeconomic policies, money supply, psychological factors. These are all internal factors. They are internally, endogenously affecting your business cycle. In सबसे business cycle पर, these are the factors directly affecting the business cycle. These are determined within the model, right? जैसे for example take the first one. बेटे demand increase होगी या decrease होगी will depend on which phase of business cycle you are, right? So these are all endogenous. But what are the exogenous factors? What are determined outside the model? Man, सबसे important आता है technological shocks. That is an outside factor. Wars, situation like COVID-19, all these are external factors which affect your business cycle. So what are the external factors that I have? Technology, war, post-war recovery, natural factors. External, they are outside the model, right? So what would be the answer to our question? The answer would be technological shocks. All the other three, they are internal. The only factor that is external will be technological shocks. Clear what? Acha, let us go ahead to the next question. So taking you to the next question. Okay, beta. Again related to business cycle, it says which indicator reflects economy's historical performance. इनमें से वो कौन सा इंडिकेटर है जो इकोनॉमी की हिस्टोरिकल परफॉर्मेंस के बारे में बताता है? लीडिंग इंडिकेटर, लैगिंग इंडिकेटर, let me just write this again. This is receding indicator or none of the above. So which is the indicator which tells me about the historical performance of my economy? Go ahead, try to answer this question, then I will answer it for you. Okay, let's see. So, when it comes to business cycle, we have something which is known as, let me just pull this up, okay. We have something which is known as BCI. BCI means business cycle indicators. What is an indicator? An indicator helps me understand more about my economy. It tells me how my economy is performing. It tells me understand the turning points of my economy. इससे पता चलता है is your economy at the peak? Is it at the trough? Is it in the expansion phase? Is it in the contraction phase? इकोनॉमी किस फेज पे है और क्या वो फेज चेंज होने वाला है या नहीं होने वाला है, whether that phase is going to change or not, that is what the indicator is going to tell you. Now there are three indicators that are there as part of business cycle indicators. The first indicator that I have, that indicator beta, it is known as leading indicator. What is a leading indicator? A leading indicator means, as the word suggests, it leads. इसको देखते ही पता चलता है that the economy is going to change its phase. Imagine, suppose till now the economy was in the phase of peak. Everybody was employed, and all of a sudden I see that so many people are getting unemployment insurance done. So many people are going ahead and getting some random jobs they're looking for some side jobs, etc. These all are hinting points. They tell me that maybe till now everybody was employed, but slowly people are losing their jobs. So it is giving me an indication that something is going wrong. We are going towards the period of recession, right? So a leading indicator, it is a measure of economic activity that something is going to shift, that my economy's business cycle, the phase I am in, is going to go ahead and take a shift. So beta, example will be unemployment insurance. When all of a sudden if you see more people taking this unemployment insurance, just be confident enough to understand that something is going wrong in your economy. ये हो गया पहला. The second one is lagging, as the word suggests. Lag, it comes with a lag. So what is lagging doing? But lagging is going ahead and it is telling me that something has already gone wrong or something has gone right. It is telling me about the phase of the business cycle. So leading to directly bata raha tha that look, if more people have started buying unemployment insurance, be alert. Economy is going towards a period of recession. Okay? It gave you a hint. Lagging is after you have entered that shift. So once you are in the period of recession, you will see people that they are more unemployed. You will see greater weeks of unemployment. So if in your economy, let's say on an average, people are unemployed for 2 to 3 weeks. अब एकदम से I am seeing that people are unemployed for 10 weeks. It's an indication that the economy is in recession. So this happens after your economy has entered that phase. वो हुआ when your economy is just transiting, उसने signal पहले ही दे दिया that something is going to go wrong. But this is telling you after that has happened. So like length of unemployment period. So now I know my economy is in recession. Why? Because now I can see that the length of the unemployment period has increased. The third one that you have, beta, that is known as coincident indicator. What is coincident? Coincident is a measure of economic activity that shifts as the business cycle shift. So when I am in different phases of business cycle, there will be some parameters which will have different values. Like when I am in the boom period, then I know कि मेरी इकोनॉमी का अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट ये रहता है. When I am in the recession period, I know मेरी अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट इतना रहता है. So this is just telling me what is that number that exists during different periods, right? So try to understand the three indicators. This is just a number, an indicator for different phases. This helps me understand after I have reached a particular phase, and that helps me understand that okay, I am going to enter a particular phase. Am I clear with all three indicators? So I hope that you found the session useful for the day. I could only, there are multiple questions that we have on business cycle. So I could think of these 6 questions that I wanted to discuss in today's session. So the topic that I want to go ahead and take today is a very, very important and relevant one. And that is the 5-year plans. This is something which has been consistently asked over the years in the IIT paper and the GATE paper. In fact, even in your CUET, in your MSc, in your IGIDR also, they ask these kind of questions. But definitely, in the Indian eco part that we are talking about, in IIT, consider this as to be one of the most important topics. So all of you know that when we talk about IIT exam, the Indian economy, that is going to go ahead and come for approximately 8 to 10 marks, right? So out of those 8 to 10 marks, you can go ahead and easily consider that 2 to 3 marks will be from these 5-year plans. So we should go ahead and definitely take questions based on these 5-year plans. Okay, beta, look at the first one. Under which 5-year plan did the government introduce agricultural strategy which gave rise to green revolution in India? Many students will go ahead and focus on the word green revolution. That itself is wrong. It is not asking which 5-year plan brought the green revolution. Now, it is asking which 5-year plan focused on agriculture which later brought the green revolution. So, it is not asking which 5-year plan had green revolution in it. I am telling you this is a very common mistake. Now, it is asking you which 5-year plan had that initialization of agriculture, but later in some other 5-year plan, green revolution might have come in. So go ahead, try to answer this question. I am looking into the chat windows. Try to see what the answer should be. Which 5-year plan did the government introduce to in agriculture which gave rise to green revolution in India later on? Okay. So in order to go ahead and understand this kind of question, what I have done is I have made a small shortcut to help you revise this question. So try to see this. I have just taken this shortcut, and this shortcut is going to give you the answer. So this is actually the third 5-year plan, beta. There are 3 important things in the third 5-year plan.
First, we focused on self-reliance. That means that India wants to now, so you remember, right? See, when India just got its independence, India was only going ahead and producing the raw material. It was not into the machinery sector, not into the capital sector, not also into the final goods and service sector. India was only into producing the raw materials. So, the one thing that we want to go, we wanted to do in the third 5-year plan itself was self-reliance. Even now, if you go ahead and read the policies of the government, we know it is Atmanirbhar Bharat. We want to focus on growing ourselves, right? But that self-reliance was into the mind of the government even during the third 5-year plan. We wanted to be sure that we wanted to grow our industries, we wanted to grow our capital sector, right? We wanted to grow our machinery sector. That's the first thing. The second thing, of course, was a focus on agriculture. So in the second 5-year plan, somehow we started focusing on the industries. But then the government realized that majority of our labor force is still in the agriculture sector. So if majority of people are in agriculture, majority of people are drawing their income from agriculture, you should not be focusing on industries itself. You should not deviate from the agricultural sector. So they wanted to go back into the agricultural sector and put their initiative in that also. So that's the second thing, they wanted to go into the agricultural sector. But at the same time, self-reliance has to be of industries. So they wanted to also go ahead and develop the industries. So the short form to remember the third 5-year plan is SAD. Self-reliance, development of agriculture and development of the industry. So the correct answer to this question is third 5-year plan. Remember, I am not talking when green revolution came. I am asking when is the first time agricultural sector came. I mean, the focus went on the agricultural sector in a way which led to further thinking by the government and introducing the green revolution. Okay, let us look on to the second question. So the second question is this. The major emphasis of first 5-year plan of India was. So the first 5-year plan, did it focus on industry, employment, agriculture or export? I am giving you a minute to try to write down the answers and then I will go ahead and answer. Okay. So let's see. Okay, A. What else? Who are others? A. Okay. So the emphasis of the first 5-year plan is what we want to talk about. Now again, try to see. I have tried to make a short form out of it. Okay. So when I talk about the first 5-year plan, the first 5-year plan was focusing on the agricultural sector, right? We were focusing on the Harrod-Doman model. Better you should remember the different models also. Whether we focus on the Harrod-Doman model or whether we focus on the Mahalanobis model or is it the Gardgill model, what model we are talking about should be very, very clear to you, right? So the focus of the first 5-year plan was on the Harrod-Doman model. We were focusing on agriculture, we were focusing on transport, we were focusing on community, we were focusing on power, we were focusing on the price stability. So these are some of the things that we were focusing on as part of the first 5-year plan. Again, when we just started, again I will go ahead and tell you the story that when we just started, we knew we wanted to go into the agriculture. So we started our our attention with the agricultural sector. Then we moved on to the industrial sector.
Then we came back to the agricultural sector after realizing that majority of India is in the agriculture. So we followed a haphazard process. We started with agriculture, we moved into industries in the second 5-year plan, we came back to the agricultural sector as part of the third 5-year plan. Does not mean we did not pay attention to the industries in the third 5-year plan or first 5-year plan. Just that we had an emphasis more on the agricultural sector. So, I will not say that I was not into the industrial sector. I was into the industrial sector, but I wanted to start thinking more about my agricultural sector. Okay. So that's the answer to this question. So all of you who are marking it as C is the correct answer. Okay. So the way that I think, again, try to make some keywords to remember this. So I could not come up with an exact one, but I could come up with hat cock. Right? So hat cock what is important here? Why? So just remember that CO means in a way you have to take C twice. So you have community development program that also started in 1952. A lot of times this can come and match the following. That when was the community development program started? When did we start focusing on different communities? And our focus was also on communication. ये कौन सा communication है? मतलब transport and communication पे focus था, railways पे focus था. अच्छा, just because we are talking about communication, I want to talk about one more thing here. So, when we just got independence, after that, during this phase, we started focusing on the railways. We wanted to grow our railways. We wanted to grow a road. We wanted to grow transport. ये तो अच्छी बात है. But one issue with this was that these railways were not being used in the right purpose. Railways का काम होना चाहिए था to give more empowerment to the economy. But railways were only being used for going, so suppose this is an industry, this is the port. So it was transferring all the raw material from India to the port so that it could be exported. And जब कोई भी final good आता था, whenever any final good used to come on the port, to take it to India. So the role of railways was only to take the raw material and to give it till the port so that it can be shipped out, to pick the final product from the port and transfer it within the system, within the country. So it was just used as a medium of transportation with not giving enough empowerment to India itself. तो इसको हम क्या बोल सकते हैं? What is this called in the economic language? As an economic student, we can say that railways didn't have any backward or forward linkage. Okay बेटा, railways की कोई भी backward या forward linkage नहीं थी. Backward forward linkage मतलब it was not empowering industries to grow. Railway के develop होने से ना कोई और industry, like for example, no other industry started growing एकदम से, right? So it did not come with any linkage. It did not come with any progress of the other industries. It only came as a medium of transport initially, right? Okay, so enough deviation. Coming back to the point. So our focus was on communication also. Okay. Right, let's go ahead and take the next question. But this is an MSQ question, not an MCQ question. So try to go ahead and do this. Inclusive growth is a phrase used in which plans in India? And I am telling you it is an MSQ question. So try to answer this, then I will do this for you. Okay, anyone? Good, very good. So it was actually for 2
two 5-year plans, which is 11th and 12th. Now it is very interesting, and this actually, a lot of students, they asked me last time also, that ma'am, how do we distinguish if inclusive growth comes? You cannot. Inclusive growth is something used both in 11th and 12th 5-year plan. So if it comes as an MCQ, either they will give you 11th or 12th, दोनों नहीं mentioned होंगे, MCQ हुआ तो. But if it is an MSQ, then both can also be mentioned. Okay, so beta, now let's go ahead and try to see what are the words that can be used to explain the 11th and 12th 5-year plan. Again, you will see me writing a lot of similar things for 11th and 12th 5-year plan. एक बार ध्यान से देखो जरा. So if you go ahead and you look into the 11th 5-year plan, it says faster growth, it says inclusive growth. Actually इसको हमेशा साथ में ही लिखते हैं. You always write faster and inclusive growth. What is inclusive growth? Inclusive growth means you want to go ahead and grow every individual. So again, when you read development eco ना, तो एक point आता है जिसमें वो ये बोलते हैं that whenever growth is introduced in the economy, its benefit should reap into the other sectors, to the traditional sectors of the economy also. Now, whenever an economy is developing, जब भी एक economy develop कर रही होती है, the first benefits of development always will go to the urban sector. हमेशा. It will always go to rich people. It will always go to urban sector. But as the economy's growth progresses, जैसे जैसे वो grow करती जाती है, as it progresses its growth, its benefit will reap into the other sectors also. वो आपका traditional sector में, into the villages, slowly the growth will reach all sectors. Take very simple example. Take the example of mobile phones. When mobile phones just came, ऐसा तो नहीं हुआ होगा ना कि हर विलेज के अंदर हर इंसान के पास मोबाइल फोन होगा. Everybody in the village had a mobile phone. No. But today you see these shorts and these reels being made by every individual of the village. You see it being made by the urban people also and the rural people also. So in that sense, mobile phone has become inclusive. It has included everyone. So inclusive growth का क्या मतलब है? Taking everyone into consideration. Every caste, every race, gender, every rural, urban person, that is what I want. I want to include everyone. Then poverty reduction, focusing on health, education, environment and gender equality. Achha, from here you can make the word fifth heck. But that is very, very similar to what happened in the 12th 5-year plan also. Dekho, faster growth, inclusive growth, job creation. By the way, job creation was here also. They focused on creating new jobs. ठीक है? अच्छा, health, education, sustainable development. Sustainable development as a word, ये सिर्फ 12th 5-year plan में यूज हुआ है. 11th में they said we want to focus on environment, but more particular word, sustainable development, usually is seen as part of the 12th 5-year plan, right? So again you can just try to make some word to remember this, right beta? So try to see that faster and inclusive growth that came in both the 5-year plans, right? Environment was also in both the 5-year plans, job creation also was there, health also, education also. कुछ words हैं जो particular हो जाते हैं, जैसे sustainable development. That is something which is actually mentioned only in the 12th 5-year plan. Okay, let us go to the next question. Let me just take this out. Okay. So again an MSQ question, please try to answer this. The question says, which 5-year plan had the objective of rapid industrialization focusing on basic and heavy industries? This word basic and heavy industries itself should ring a bell. So try to answer this question. Let me see what you are saying. Which 5-year plan focused on rapid industrialization with emphasis on basic and heavy industries? Okay. Fine. Let's see this together. The answer is second, and here I have again a small keyword for you. Second 5-year plan, it had 3 main things that you have to remember. First, it was focused on the Mahalanobis model. But this is available on my YouTube channel only. If you just look on our YouTube channel, I think I have posted a video of this complete Mahalanobis plan. You should be able to go ahead and see this, okay? So the second 5-year plan, the first thing which is important is that it is based on Mahalanobis model, very important point. Second, it was based on atomic energy. It focused on, okay, another story. So when India just got independence now, if we look at the resources that India had during that time, it had the highest raw materials available for a lot of industries. A lot of gypsum, a lot of magnesium, magnite, a lot of material required for atomic energy, iron, steel, bauxite oxide. ये जितने भी raw material I can count, all these raw materials were available in plenty in India. Of course, its industries were not doing good because the Britishers never focused on Indian industries. So industries were not doing good, but the resources that were available in India were at its highest. So on resources को we can put to the right use. That is what the plan of government was. So therefore it focused on atomic industry, and D stands for Durgapur steel industry. This word especially you will only see in the second 5-year plan. Beside that, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. So second 5-year plan, it had rapid industrialization. पूरा का पूरा focus ना agriculture से हटा दिया. अब सिर्फ एक ही aim था. You wanted to grow your industries. You wanted to go ahead and grow both consumer and heavy industries. Why? Because we thought that we don't make any finished product. जितना capital था, जितने heavy machinery थी, everything was imported from outside. India didn't have a single heavy machine available to itself. 90% import hota tha, by the way. So India wanted to now be self-reliant. It wanted to make its own heavy industries. It wanted to make its own, it wanted to do its own industrialization process, right? And that's the reason it started focusing on steel, it started focusing on atomic energy, it started focusing on other industrialization techniques. So that is associated with the second 5-year plan. Okay, beta. Let us go ahead and do the next question. Okay, so I've just mentioned this already to you. So the total word that we have here in the second 5-year plan, that's Madras. So we studied Mahalanobis model, atomic energy, Durgapur steel industry. Then beta R stands for rapid industrialization, and also you can remember it as Rourkela Steel Company. A is agriculture, not a lot of focus on agriculture though. S is very important, socialist pattern of society. So the Mahalanobis model, it focused on becoming a socialist. What does it mean when I want to be a socialist? It means that I want to increase the role of government. I want to increase the role of government. Second 5-year, जब first 5-year plan खत्म हुआ ना, it seemed that you could not leave market to itself. You could not leave just people to itself. अभी उस level पे हम नहीं पहुंचे थे that we should become a mixed economy. It seemed that in a lot of places, government was very important, right? Especially investing in places where private individuals could not invest. So role of government was realized during that period, right? And that is when you thought, why not just increase the role of the government? So you can just remember the second 5-year plan with these points. Okay, let us go to the next question. Let me just remove this one. So the next question for you is this. In which 5-year plan high yielding varieties program was started? High yielding variety program was started. Try to understand this again. High yielding means I need high yield crops. I need crops which do well, commercial crops, जो पैसा भी अच्छा दे, right? Secondly, I am just starting with it. I haven't yet reached a phase where I have already high yield crops. It's not green revolution. I am just starting with high yielding crops. मतलब I am focusing on agriculture to go towards green revolution. I am focusing, एक तरीके से इसको अगर मैं reword करूँ, तो it's a way of saying I want to focus on agriculture to increase productivity. I want to focus on agriculture to increase yield of crops. I want to focus on agriculture ताकि मैं fertilizers better quality use करूँ. I have better irrigation. I want to improve the yield of my crops. So we have already done this. It is very, very easy now. That high yield मतलब agriculture पे ज़्यादा focus करना. Agriculture पे ज़्यादा focus third 5-year plan में हुआ था. So we know that the answer to this question should be third 5-year plan. So beta, we have already read this now. SAD as part of third 5-year plan. So we wanted to become self-dependent or self-reliant. We focused on agricultural sector. और इसी agricultural sector में ही sub point है that you want to focus on the high yield variety program. Okay. What I have for you today, that's a NAT question. Fill in the blanks will also come in IIT. So consider this as a 2-marker NAT question. Try to do this yourself first, then I will do this. Okay. The number of points where you're given a function where this function crosses the x-axis. What are the number of points where this function crosses the x-axis? Try to take a moment, try to solve this yourself, then I will do this. Okay, let's try to think this together. So what I have done in this case now, beta, I have tried to find out. So if I need to see when it is crossing, I have to see when it is going from increasing to decreasing or decreasing to increasing. Those are the points that will go ahead and cut the x-axis. तब पता चल सकता है. So somehow I need to go ahead and look at its slope. So what I have done in this case, I have started by this function that is given to me, x to the power 5 minus 20x cube plus 50x plus 2. And I have tried to go ahead and find f dash x. So beta, my f dash x that I have got here is this, right? So once you find this f dash x, just take this 5 common and you will have your f dash x equal to this. Now I need to check where it is cutting the x-axis, right? So what I can go ahead and do before that is I can just equate f dash x to 0. So that is exactly what I have gone ahead and done. I just equated f dash x to 0. Acha beta, now just see here. So f dash x equal to 0, it means that either I would have attained a maxima or I would have attained a minimum. तभी तो f dash x 0 रहा होगा, right? So if I take this coefficient out, I am supposed to go ahead and solve. I am supposed to go ahead and solve this equation. But let's say that your x square is some y. So what will be your equation? It will be y square minus 12y plus 10. So what is going to be your y? Very simple. This will be using the determinant method. So y will be minus b plus minus root b square minus 4ac by 2a. So minus b plus minus root b square minus 4ac by 2a. Just solve this. That will be your y. But y was nothing but x square. So that will be your x square. So from here you will get x approximately as its under root. So x का value आ जाएगा 11.1 and 0.9. These are the two values of x that you will have. ठीक है जी. So I have found out those x's where I am either at a maxima or at a minima. ये निकल गए क्योंकि f dash x 0 है. Okay. So now what I can do? So I have got my x's. What are my x's that I have got in this case? But I have got my x as plus minus 3.31 and 0.95. Now I need to somehow find the nature of this function. ये तो समझ में आ रहा है कि इन पे या maxima रहेगा या minima रहेगा. But I need to find more about this function, how this function is working. So it is very difficult to evaluate the function at these values. है ना, क्योंकि these are decimals. 3.31 minus 3.31, 0.95 minus 0.95. So instead of evaluating this function at exactly these values, I will want to get an idea of about the nearby points. So what I am going to go ahead and do is I am going to find out some nearby points. So in order to find those nearby points, what I did is I just took points like 1. 1 is very close to 0.95. Points like minus 1. Minus 1 is very close to minus 0.95. Points like 2, minus 2, 0. You can also take points like 3 and minus 3. As a points there. And try to evaluate what happens at these points. Try to see what your function does at these points. So what did I find? I find that when I took the, my x as 0, my function's value was 2. When I took x as 1, my function value was positive. When I took x as 2, my function's value was negative. When I took x as minus 1, my function's value was negative. When I took x as minus 2, my function's value was positive. So based on whether it is positive or negative, I was able to get the curve of the function. And based on that, what do I see? That my function looks somewhere like this. Now if my function looks like this, then can I see how many times it is intersecting the x-axis? Of course. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So my function intersects my x-axis 5 times. And that is how you can go ahead and solve. There is another way you could have tried. You could have seen how many times your f dash x goes from negative to positive and positive to negative. So when you do that, you can check when it goes from increasing to decreasing, decreasing to increasing, increasing to decreasing to increasing. Based on these 4 points. So what happens at to f dash x when x is less than 3.31 in points पे evaluate कर लो. When x is greater than 3.31. Similarly, when x is less than 0.95, greater than 0.95. But because it's a little difficult, these numbers are messy. These are decimals. इसलिए instead of working directly with these numbers, I just went ahead and took corresponding closer numbers to just see how my function looks closely, and I found out that there should be 5 intercepts. So that is how you can go ahead and solve this question. Okay, beta, let's come to the third question. So as I told you, today's class is going to be a little difficult one, but these are the kind of questions you will expect in IIT paper. Don't expect easy questions in IIT. Okay, so the third question that you have it is this. This kind of question also can come in an ISI paper, ISI MSQE paper. ठीक है बेटा, तो दोनों में ही ये questions can come. Try to solve this. An excellent question. So this says that you are given gx, and how is gx defined? Gx is defined as fx plus f1 minus x. It says f double dash x. This is greater than 0, माने convex. For x between 0 to 1, g is decreasing in 0 to alpha and increasing in alpha to 1. तो ये जो g function है ना, this g function बेटा, this is decreasing माने g dash x would have been less than 0 in which interval? In 0 to alpha, and this g dash x, it would have been greater than 0 in which interval? In alpha to 1. Now what's the question asking? The question is asking you to find out this. So it says find tan inverse 2 alpha plus tan inverse 1 by alpha plus tan inverse alpha plus 1 by alpha, and which value would that be? अच्छा, now think. ये पूरा ऊपर का information जो दिया हुआ है, it will only help you to identify the value of alpha. इसके लिए दिया हुआ है कि किसी तरीके से you identify what is alpha, and once you find that alpha, you can just plug that alpha here and get the answer. Just try this yourself, then I will do it. Try to find alpha. Okay? Try to do it. Just tell me what the answer should be. Let's see. Okay, beta. See here. You are given gx, huh? Gx is fx plus f1 minus x. तो बेटा g dash x क्या होगा? Differentiate कर लो. Differentiation of fx will be f dash x. Differentiation of f1 minus x will be f dash 1 minus x into 1 minus x की differentiation क्या हो जाएगी? -1. So I have this minus here. So g dash x will be f dash x minus f dash 1 minus x. G dash x is saying, it says that it is decreasing in 0 to alpha and increasing in alpha to 1. Beta, what is the meaning of decreasing? Decreasing means that the slope is negative. If something decreases, मतलब उसका slope negative है, and increasing means उसका slope positive है. So if it is decreasing in 0 to alpha, its slope should be negative. If it is increasing in alpha to 1, its slope should be positive. In very simple terms, can it also mean that when I evaluate its slope at 0, it should be less than when I evaluate its slope at 1? That is what I have done. I evaluated its slope at 0, I evaluated its slope at 1, and I just said that its slope at 0 should be less than its slope at 1. अच्छा, tell me something again. बेटा g dash 0 मतलब क्या हो जाएगा? G dash, it was f dash x minus f dash 1 minus x. So if I put x as 0, तो क्या आएगा? f dash 0 minus f dash 1 minus 0. So f dash 0 minus f dash 1. So g dash 0, it will be f dash 0 minus f dash 1. उसी तरीके से g dash 1 क्या होगा? Instead of x put 1 here, what will you get? You will get f dash 1 minus f dash 1 minus 1, f dash 1 minus f dash 0. This is what you will get. Just take, write things on the right side. So ये वाला चीज यहाँ ले जाओ, ये वाला चीज यहाँ ले जाओ. What will you get? You will get 2 f dash 0 less than 2 f dash 1. मतलब f dash 0 less than f dash 1. So I have gone ahead and given you, I didn't know anything about the function f, but now I have proved to you that f dash 0 should be less than f dash 1. Is clear what the point? Okay, now let us try to find out when g dash x will be exactly 0. So now I am trying to go ahead and I am trying to find out when g dash x will be 0. So beta g dash x kya tha? It was f dash x minus f dash 1 minus x. So if this is 0, what does this mean? F dash x should be equal to f dash 1 minus x. Clear? F is a decreasing function. ये मैंने अभी ऊपर prove किया. Didn't I prove this? I just proved to you that f is a decreasing function. So if your f is a decreasing function, if I have proved that your f is a decreasing function, then can I say it will be a one-to-one function? I can, na? It is decreasing. So each x has a unique value of the function. So it's a one-to-one function. So if it is a one-to-one function, then what is the property about one-on-one functions? That if f dash x is equal to f dash 1 minus x, this implies that x is equal to 1 minus x. हुआ ना? So if x is equal to 1 minus x, beta 2x is equal to 1, x will be half. So the value of x comes down as half. Half is that value where your function has a point where it reaches either maximum or minimum. Clear my baat? So beta, now you can check that between 0 to half it is increasing and between half to 1 it is decreasing. So वो जो point cut करने का point है. So g function it is increasing between 0 to half and decreasing from half to 1. So ये alpha का value क्या आ गया? किस point पे function has that cut off point? Half, right? So we have been able to derive this. ये जो alpha था ना, we have been able to go ahead and derive this. If you just read back the question, so this is g is decreasing in 0 to alpha and increasing in alpha to 1. ये जो alpha है, this alpha itself is half for me. This is what I have derived. अब alpha निकल गया, अब बस इस function में put कर दो. Just put it in this function. So let's just go ahead and do that. Okay, cool. So if I just put it in this function, alpha की जगह पे मैंने यहाँ पे half put किया, ये हो जाएगा 2 और ये हो जाएगा half plus 1 upon half. So when you solve this, you will get this. हाँ? बेटा tan inverse 1 क्या होता है? Pi by 4. So ये हो गया pi by 4. Now you will not know कि tan inverse 2 या tan inverse 3 क्या होता है. Of course, we don't know that, na? So what can we do? We can use the formula that this will be tan inverse A plus B will be A plus B upon 1 minus AB. So A को ले लो 2 and B को ले लो 3. So 2 plus 3 upon 1 minus 2 into 3. So what will this give you? 5 upon 1 minus 6. 5 by minus 5, that means minus 1. So this will give you tan inverse minus 1. And what does that mean? 3 pi by 4. So you have pi by 4 plus 3 pi by 4. That means it will be 4 pi by 4. That means it will be pi. So the answer to this question is pi. That is called policies in the long run. Right, beta? So the topic is policies in the long run. Let's start. Okay, everybody go ahead and try to answer these questions. So the first question for today. With reference to the characteristics of non-excludability and non-rivalry, law and order is a classic example of. So it talks about two properties here. The first property is non-excludability and property is non-rivalrous. So which, according to you, which kind of goods or which thing out of the four, which of these it is actually an example which follows these two things, and law and order is also an example of that? Try to answer this in the chat window. Okay. So the correct answer to this question is, we know that it is going to be a public good. So public goods are those goods which basically are non-excludable and non-rivalrous. What does non-rivalrous mean? That usage by one individual does not reduce the usage by the other individual, right? So if I go ahead and I walk in a park, it does not reduce park for you, right? And non-excludable means that I can go ahead and I cannot exclude anyone from using it. Can you exclude me from using the defense service of the country? No. अगर डिफेंस अवेलेबल है तो सबके लिए अवेलेबल है ना, आप मेरे को एक्सक्लूड नहीं कर सकते डिफेंस यूज करने से. सो लॉ, ऑर्डर, डिफेंस, दीज आर नॉन राइवलरस. मेरे डिफेंस सर्विस यूज करने से आपके लिए वो कम नहीं हो जाती, एंड इट इज नॉन एक्सक्लूडेबल. मेरे को आप एक्सक्लूड नहीं कर सकते हो उसको यूज करने से, राइट बेटा? ओके, कम टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. ट्राई टू रीड दिस. Example of non-distortionary taxes are, so 4 points are given. Those levied unexpectedly after economic decisions have been taken place, ad valorem taxes, those consistent with Ramsey principle of public finance, or proportional income tax. Which is an example of non-distortionary taxes? Better take a moment, try to answer this question. खुद से आंसर करो एक बारी. What is a distortionary tax? Anyone? A distortionary tax is any tax which causes distortion. बेटा distortion का क्या मतलब है? Which changes your preferences. जैसे ad valorem tax. What does ad valorem tax does? But it increases the price of the commodity, जिस पे भी charge होता है. And by increasing the price, it causes distortion. For students who have enrolled in our program, beta, if you go to your intermediate micro, उसमें there is this chapter called budget line. And then उसी के नीचे you will find preferences, choice. उन्हीं में I have tried to explain why lump sum tax is better than proportional or ad valorem tax. Why lump sum tax is better than ad valorem tax? Because lump sum tax में preferences change नहीं होती हैं. It makes you poorer. आपको कंपेरेटिवली आपके पास कम इनकम रह जाती है, बट इट डज नॉट चेंज योर प्रेफरेंसेस. बट एन एड वैलोरम टैक्स चेंजेस योर प्रेफरेंसेस, राइट बेटा? सो ओके, कम टू द क्वेश्चन नाउ. सो नाउ इट इज सेइंग व्हिच ऑफ द टैक्सेस आर नॉन डिस्टॉर्शनरी, डिस्टॉर्शन नहीं करते हैं. तो दोस टैक्सेस व्हिच आर लेवाइड अनएक्सपेक्टेडली. बेटा डिस्टॉर्शन का क्या मतलब है? जो भी कंज्यूमर की प्रेफरेंस को चेंज करे. अगर एक टैक्स मैं अनएक्सपेक्टेडली लगा देती हूं, इफ आई जस्ट पुट अ टैक्स अनएक्सपेक्टेडली, यू विल नॉट हैव टाइम टू चेंज द वे यू थिंक, यू विल नॉट हैव टाइम टू चेंज योर प्रेफरेंसेस. तो वही तो कह रहे हैं हम यहाँ पे. Unexpected taxes do not enter calculation of marginal cost versus marginal benefit of a decision maker. They involve ex post redistribution, making them perceived as particularly unfair, but they don't change the way consumer think. बात समझ में आई? Distortionary tax वो टैक्स है जो distortion क्रिएट करे. Distortion मतलब जो प्रेफरेंसेस को बदले. मतलब अगर आप कल मुझे बोल दो कि अब मैकडॉनल्ड्स बर्गर इज टैक्स्ड, तो मैं मैकडॉनल्ड्स के बर्गर की कंजम्पशन कम कर दूंगी ना, क्योंकि उस पर टैक्स है. तो उसने मेरी प्रेफरेंस को चेंज किया, इसलिए वो डिस्टॉर्शनरी हुआ. बट अगर किसी टैक्स के बारे में मुझे पता ही नहीं था, it cannot change my preferences. It will be non-distortionary. Okay, beta, come to the next question. The relationship between number of unfilled job vacancies and number of unemployed worker is described by. बहुत ही tricky question है. Not many of you would have heard about it. So this is from the labor market. And in fact, it's a rarely taught concept. बहुत कम जगहों पे इसको पढ़ाया जाता है. Let's see this, what it is saying. I want to find the relationship between unfilled job vacancies and number of unemployed worker. कितनी वैकेंसीज फिल नहीं हुई वर्सेस कितने लोग अनएम्प्लॉयड हैं, वो जो रिलेशनशिप है बिटवीन दीज टू थिंग्स, हाउ मेनी वैकेंसीज कुड नॉट बी फिल्ड and how many workers are unemployed, I want to describe that relationship. तो अगर आप लोग थोड़ा सा method of elimination यूज करो, if you try to use method of elimination, बेटा सॉल्व हो जाएगा. रामसे प्रिंसिपल नहीं, ये तो क्लियरली नहीं है. दिस इज रिलेटेड टू टैक्सेस, कितने टैक्स चार्ज करने चाहिए, पब्लिक इकोनॉमिक्स. लैफर कर्व, नो, अगेन रिलेटेड टू टैक्सेशन, कि मैक्सिमम टैक्स रेवेन्यू कितना हो सकता है, नो. फिलिप्स कर्व, नो. इट टॉक्स अबाउट इन्फ्लेशन एंड अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट. तो क्या आंसर बन गया, बेवरेज कर्व. सो लेट्स सी द आंसर. The beverage curve is an indicator of effectiveness of labor market. Matching of heterogeneous workers in job. तो कितनी unfilled jobs हैं और कितने unemployed लोग हैं, इनके बीच के एक रिलेशन को हम डिपिक्ट करते हैं और ये हमें बताता है कि लेबर मार्केट कितनी एफिशिएंट है. इट टेल्स अस हाउ एफिशिएंट इज द लेबर मार्केट. बेटा इफ लेबर मार्केट इज सुपर एफिशिएंट तो अनफिल्ड जॉब कम होंगी, ज्यादातर जॉब्स फिल हो जाएंगी. सो वी कैन नो अबाउट द एफिशिएंसी ऑफ द लेबर मार्केट थ्रू दिस कर्व. Okay, come to the next question. Try to do this. I'm giving you a minute. Which of the following is not a consequence of strict job severance regulation across the economy? So, it is saying, ध्यान से देखना है, not a consequence. इनमें से कौन सी ऐसी चीज है जो strict jobs regulation लाने से नहीं होती? It does not happen. What are the options? Firm delay new hires in good times until they are really sure. Such regulations increase effective cost. Firms will be able to pay lower wages. Firms will make increased use of temporary work. Just try to answer this. Take a minute. Post your answers in the chat window. Okay, let's see. So the answer will be, firms will be able to pay lower wages because greater job security has offsetting value to worker. Let us try to understand this thing. See, there is something called as reservation wage. Reservation wage क्या है बेटा? The wage at which an individual is indifferent between working and not working. तो वो कौन सी वेज है जिस पर मैं इंडिफरेंट, मतलब अगर आप मेरे को बोल दो कि if you ask me, ma'am, what is your reservation wage, and but I tell you 1,000 rupees per day, मतलब if you pay me 1,000 then I may or may not work. If you pay me less than 1,000 I will definitely not work for you. If you pay me more than 1,000 I will definitely work. तो ये हो गई हमारी रिजर्वेशन वेज. कौन सी ऐसी वेज है एट विच आई एम इंडिफरेंट? अब अगर आप मेरे को कल को आके बोल दो कि गवर्नमेंट ने बोला है कि सबको जॉब करनी ही करनी है, इट इज कंपल्सरी दैट यू हैव टू वर्क, कंपल्सरी कर दिया सपोज। अब मैं 1000 से कम में भी वर्क करना चाहूंगी, आई वुड वांट टू वर्क इवन एट अ लोअर वेज। व्हाई? बिकॉज देयर इज दिस रेगुलेशन व्हिच आस्क्स मी टू वर्क, so I will be ready to work at a lower wage also, I will have to work at a lower wage also. So in that case firms will be able to pay lower wage, right? That is exactly what the question is saying. Okay, fine, beta. Come to the next question. Economic policy makers find supply side policies attractive because, so try to answer this question. सप्लाई साइड की जो पॉलिसीज हैं, सप्लाई साइड पॉलिसीज क्या होती है एग्जैक्टली? आई वांट यू टू थिंक अबाउट इट एंड कम बैक टू मी. सो व्हाई वुड द पॉलिसी मेकर्स गो फॉर सप्लाई साइड पॉलिसीज? सो ऑप्शंस आर गिवन. सप्लाई साइड पॉलिसी एलिमिनेट डेडवेट लॉस. सप्लाई साइड पॉलिसी डू नॉट इंप्लाई शॉर्ट रन ट्रेड ऑफ. सप्लाई साइड पॉलिसी रिड्यूस आउटपुट गैप. सप्लाई साइड पॉलिसी हेल्प शिफ्ट द बेवरेज कर्व अवे फ्रॉम द origin. Try to think about it, then I will answer. Answer it in the chat window. Okay. Fine, let's see. So the answer is supply side policies do not imply the trade-off between unemployment and inflation. जब आप सप्लाई साइड पॉलिसीज पे फोकस करते हो तो जो एक ट्रेड ऑफ है अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट और इन्फ्लेशन का, दैट हायर इन्फ्लेशन लोअर अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट, हायर अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट लोअर इन्फ्लेशन, ये जो फिलिप्स कर्व ट्रेड ऑफ देता है ये ट्रेड ऑफ नहीं रहता. इट डज नॉट इम्प्लाई with the supply side policy. They do not imply this thing. The demand side policies can affect this, right? But not the supply side policies. They will not imply this short run trade-off between unemployment and inflation. So try to read. The focus is getting potential GDP to increase and not merely attaining full utilization of human and non-human resources. So when we focus on supply side policies, एम सिर्फ इतना नहीं होता कि हमें फुल यूटिलाइजेशन करवानी है, एम होता है कि हमें अपने जीडीपी को इंक्रीज करना है. आई होप ऑल ऑफ यू आर डूइंग मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स एंड यू आर अंडरस्टैंडिंग व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन सप्लाई साइड एंड डिमांड साइड, राइट? एंड we will also, beta, for those who are with me, you will know what supply side and demand side is and which economist gave what a little later. जैसे हम next month में जाते हैं, we start with macro, we will do this. But as of now, just try to interpret this कि जो supply side policies होती हैं, they don't imply this trade-off that comes. Okay, fine, beta. Let's go to the next question. Last question for the day. What would happen according to Adam Smith, if wages were offered above the market clearing level? So you have demand and supply of labor, you have a particular wage at which it is clearing, and now I am asking what happens if wages above this market clearing level. Try to read. Firms lose money, workers make welfare gain, firms restrict employment, only workers who are willing to work get a job. Try to answer it, then I will answer it. Go ahead. Okay, so try to understand. देखो समझो एक बारी बेटा, when I put higher wage, जब wage बढ़ती है above the market clearing wage, तो it's like a floor. हमने price floor, price ceiling के concepts किए क्लास में. So it is like a price floor. तो मतलब क्या हो रहा है? This is demand, this is supply, और अब मैंने बोल दिया कि बेटा wage will be higher. So let's say this is my wage. मैंने wage यहाँ पे कर दिया. So if I am keeping a higher wage, तो इस wage पे what will be the demand of labor? Only this much. Who is demanding labor? It is the firms that are demanding labor. तो जो labor की demand है ये firms की side से आ रही है. So I have restricted the demand क्योंकि wage ज़्यादा देनी पड़ रही है because you have to pay a higher wage. So therefore with higher wage you will demand less labor. So employment will be restricted. Clear है? But बेटा इस wage पे supply कितनी है? इतनी LS. So more workers are willing to work. ज़्यादा workers काम करना चाह रहे हैं इस wage पे, but less workers are demanded. So बेटा can I say this is nothing but excess labor in the market? Less labor is willing to work, only L star are working. This is the gap, right? Leading to involuntary unemployment. Involuntary unemployment क्या होती है? वो unemployment जो लोग voluntary ना करें. मतलब if I go ahead and I say I don't want to work for the next 1 month, I am getting voluntarily unemployed. But if someone just pushes me out of their organization, I still wanted to work, na? So it will lead to involuntary unemployment. Unless people wanted to work, only L star will get work. तो ये जो gap है, ये unemployed रह जाएगा. So this is what is being asked in this question. Is it clear? Okay. So beta, these are the questions I wanted to discuss today. These questions were from long run policies. I am giving you one homework question. Try to do that and come in the next class. So this is your homework question for the day. Try to answer it in the chat window. Read it out. What is the force that lowers wage to the market clearing level if they are high, too high? Competition, bargaining, government or firms? Answer it in the chat window. For a consumer, marginal utility of good X and Y are 50 and 100 respectively. The price of good Y is 20. The consumer is in equilibrium. What is the price of good X? Let's start. So what is given to you, beta? It is given to you that MUX, this is 50. MUY is given to you as 100. PX is not known and PY is given to you as 20. So this information is given to you. You need to go ahead and find the price of good X. Very simple. So we will just use the equilibrium condition. Beta क्या हो जाएगी? MUX by MUY is equal to PX by PY. तो बेटा MUX क्या है? 50, MUY 100, PX not known, PY 20. So when you solve for this, you will get PX as 10. So the correct answer to this question is 10. Very simple. You're just using the condition that at equilibrium, the slope of indifference curve is equal to the slope of the budget line. The slope of the budget line is Px by Py. The slope of indifference curve, also called as MRS, is MUX by MUY. You go ahead, you equate the two, you get the value of Px. Okay, beta, this was an easy one. Let's go to the difficult one now. Let's go to the next question. Let me just erase this. Okay, so the second question for the day. Okay, beta, read. Determine the equation of expansion path of production function given by, so you're given some production function, Q is equal to LK square, where Q stands for output, priced at $10. So price of output, where Q stands for output, यहाँ पे I just forgot to write it, labor priced at $10 and capital priced at $15. So your labor is priced at $10. माने the wage rate is 10 and capital is priced at $15, so the rent is 15. So beta, what is my equilibrium condition? My equilibrium condition is where MRTS is equal to W by R. What is MRTS? MRTS is basically MPL by MPK. So what is going to be MPL? Differentiate this function with respect to L. So क्या आएगा? If I differentiate this with respect to L, let's look. If I just differentiate this beta with respect to L, what will I get? MPL क्या हो जाएगा? My MPL will be how output changes as labor changes. So if I differentiate this with respect to L, what will I get? I will get K square. But what will be MPK? MPK will be how output changes as capital changes. So if I differentiate this with respect to capital, with respect to K, holding L constant, क्या आ जाएगा? L into 2K. So beta, what will be my MRTS? MRTS will be MPL by MPK. करो. MPL by MPK. So this will be K by 12. And MRTS should be equated to what? W by R ना? तो कर दो W by R से equate. So MRTS has to be equal to W by R. So MRTS is K by 12 equated to W by R. So this is 2, this is 3. So I will get 3K is equal to 4L. This will be the answer to this question. So what are we saying? We are saying we need to find MPL, we need to find MPK and equate it to W by R, right? So this is what we should be going ahead and doing. This is the rule that we have. So देख लो एक बार बेटा ध्यान से जरा. What is the question saying? The question is saying you are given a production function. Whenever it gives you a production function and gives you the cost of the inputs, it means that you have to find the equilibrium condition. Equilibrium से ही expansion path आ सकता है. So when I talk about the equilibrium condition, it means that I have an isocost line. It means I have an isoquant. And it means I need to find the tangency point. All such tangency points will give me the expansion path. हाँ बेटा, तो slope of isocost line क्या हो जाएगी? W by R, 10 by 15. Slope of production function क्या हो जाएगा? Very simple, MPL by MPK. So this will be MPL by MPK. When you differentiate with respect to L, you get K square. When you differentiate with respect to K, you get 2KL. Right, beta? So what will this give you? This will give you K by 2L. This will be your MRTS. Equate it to W by R ratio and get the answer to this question. So I think in this case, because I have to equate this to 2 by 3, none of them is matching the answer. The answer should be 3K is equal to 4L. That should be the answer to this question. Okay, beta, come to the next question. So question number 3 for you is this. So everyone try to do this question. So you need to go ahead and find the value of X and Y, and you are actually given two matrices. So just try to find out the equilibrium, the values of X and Y. I'm giving you a moment to do this. Just try this. In the meanwhile, I just want to highlight, if you go ahead to the ArthaPoint website and you click on the mock tests, you will now go ahead and you will find a series of mock tests that we have come up with. So we have already introduced 10 recorded solution, 10 mock tests of IIT. We have already introduced 5 mock tests of GATE. We have introduced 1000 plus recorded questions of CUET MA Economics, and we have also introduced the mock tests of CUET. So you can go ahead, you can log in into our page and you can look into all these different mock test series that we have launched, right? So maybe in the next session I will also take you through those series. I will show you what all is included on those series, and you can also get more details about it on our contact number. हाँ बेटा, अच्छा, let's go to the question now. So the question is this. So now I just have to go ahead and multiply 2 inside. So what will I get? 6, 8, 10, 2x plus 1 y 0 1. So if I solve this, what will I get? 6 plus 1 7, 8 plus y here, 10 plus 0 10, and 2x plus 1 here. So this will be the matrix that I will be getting. This matrix has to be equated to this one. So कर दो equate 7, 10, 2x plus 1 and 8 plus y must be equated to 7, 10, 0 and 5. Element to element, element to element. So beta 7 is equated to 7. 8 plus y is equated to 0. है ना? So if I equate, देखो ध्यान से जरा. If I go ahead and I equate 8 plus y, if I equate 8 plus y to 0, what will I get? 8 plus y is equal to 0, so y will be minus 8. And if I equate 2x plus 1 to 5, so beta 2x plus 1 is 5, so 2x will be 4, so x will be 2. So x will be 2 and y will be minus 8. That's the answer to your question. Acha. In exam, what the examiner can do sometimes na, that better they can go ahead and give you this as a determinant. इसको determinant बना देगा instead of a matrix, something like this. तो कुछ नहीं होता ना, just find the determinant in that case. तो बेटा ये हो जाएगा 2, determinant will be what? 3x minus 20 plus this का determinant will be what? 1 is equal to इसका determinant will be what? 35 minus 0. And find the values of x. Y तो निकल गया, it has gone. So any y will satisfy it. Find the value of x. So in exams sometimes instead of giving you the matrix, they will give you the determinants and you have to find the determinant and solve that question. Okay बेटा, ठीक है जी. Next question पे आते हैं. Let's take the next one. Next one has been asked multiple times in the JNU paper. बहुत often आता है JNU exam में. So now JNU is CUET, है ना? तो CUET में शायद it can come, so we should be looking into it. So try to see this. Okay बेटा, ये काफी interesting question है, ध्यान से हम देखेंगे. Average tax rate is given to you as 1/3, 0.33 हो गया. Marginal tax rate is given to you as 0.5, 0.20 हो गया. What type of tax it is? Now, for this you should know the different rules of tax. हाँ बेटा, there is something which is called as a progressive tax. What is a progressive tax? As your income increases, the tax rate that you pay increases. तो जो इंडिया में है कि इतने स्लैब के लिए 0%, then 10%, then 20%. So as my income increases, the tax rate increases. So the tax I pay at margin, जो with change in income, जो additional tax मैं pay करूँगी, बेटा it will be higher and higher as my income is progressing. मतलब marginal will be more than the average I end up paying. So this where marginal is more than average, it is called as progressive tax. Second is your proportional tax. Proportional मतलब क्या? Whatever be your income, you will always pay the same percentage. तो average भी वही निकलेगा और additionally जो आप pay करोगे वो भी same ही होगा. So for example, government says you have to always pay 10%. किसी भी income level के क्यों ना हो. तो ऑन एन एवरेज यू आर पेइंग 10% एंड मार्जिनली जो एक्स्ट्रा आप पे कर रहे हो वो भी 10% है. सो व्हेन मार्जिनल एंड एवरेज आर इक्वल इट इज प्रोपोर्शनल. When marginal is less than average, it is regressive. ये 3 रूल याद रखने हैं. उसके बेसिस पे कोई भी क्वेश्चन आए, you should be able to do that. Is that clear? Just sometimes what happens is, now you can answer this. Sometimes what happens is, you are given something like this. Let me just remove this. You are given a tax function जैसे ऐसे p is equal to t bar plus small t y. What will be average tax rate? Total tax divided by income. ध्यान से समझने हैं आपको. Total tax divided by income. तो बेटा if p is t bar plus t y, t by y क्या हो जाएगा? t bar by y plus small t. बेटा t by y tax by income ये तो हो गया एवरेज टैक्स रेट. स्मॉल t हो गया मार्जिनल टैक्स रेट. सो एवरेज टैक्स रेट इज मार्जिनल प्लस समथिंग. ये क्लियर हुई बात को? अब ध्यान से समझना है. इन प्रोग्रेसिव में क्या होता है? प्रोग्रेसिव वो टैक्स है जिसमें मार्जिनल इज मोर देन द एवरेज पेड. सो ATR इज लेस देन MTR. MTR स्मॉल t था, ATR ये पूरी चीज है. सो आई एम सेइंग मार्जिनल इज सच दैट ATR इज लेस देन MTR. मतलब बेटा ये जो चीज होगी, ये जो ATR निकला है, इट हैज टू बी लेस देन जो मार्जिनल है. तो ये this and this cancels out. So I will have t bar by y less than 0. So t bar less than 0. तो progressive tax is that tax which will also t bar 0 आ रहा है ना. मतलब गवर्नमेंट आपसे t bar क्या था बेटा यहाँ पे? If my y is 0, then t is equal to t bar. थोड़ा सा समझो. When y is 0, t is equal to t bar. And when it is progressive tax, ATR is less than MTR. ATR was what? ये पूरे फंक्शन को हमने y से डिवाइड किया था. तो जब मेरा टैक्स t bar plus ty था, तो ATR के लिए मैंने इसको डिवाइड बाय y किया. So I got this. MTR क्या है? मार्जिनल टैक्स. How tax changes as income changes. So how tax changes as income changes से small t आएगा. अब क्या हो रहा है? For progressive tax, the MTR is greater than ATR. MTR is greater than ATR. बेटा MTR क्या था? T. T is greater than ATR क्या था? ये पूरी वैल्यू T bar by y plus T. It means remove everything else. Just look into this much, huh? So MTR is small t. ATR is t bar by y plus t. So beta what are we saying? We are saying for progressive tax MTR is greater than ATR. माने this. So t and t will cancel out. Y, so this becomes t bar by y less than 0. Income तो हमेशा पॉजिटिव होती है. So this gives me t bar less than 0. न्यूमरेटर नेगेटिव रहा होगा. तो प्रोग्रेसिव टैक्स वो टैक्स है जिसमें t बार की वैल्यू नेगेटिव होती है. जिसमें t बार की वैल्यू नेगेटिव होती है. अच्छा ये t बार है क्या? व्हाट इज दिस t बार? अब इसको समझते हैं. सो बेटा इफ आई पुट इस फंक्शन में y एज 0, t क्या आ जाएगा? t बार. तो जब इनकम 0 होती है, व्हेन इनकम इज 0, जो टैक्स एक इंडिविजुअल पे करे वो टी बार. ऑटोनॉमस टैक्स हो गया ये. आई कैन कॉल दिस एज ऑटोनॉमस टैक्स. और बच्चे ये नेगेटिव आ रहा है ना प्रोग्रेसिव के लिए. मतलब प्रोग्रेसिव टैक्स में जीरो इनकम लेवल पे आपको सब्सिडी मिलती है, यू गेट सब्सिडी व्हेन योर इनकम लेवल इज जीरो, क्योंकि ऑटोनॉमस टैक्स नेगेटिव आ रहा है। तो इस केस में, इन दिस केस व्हाट विल बी माय फंक्शन, कैसे बनेगा प्रोग्रेसिव टैक्स का ग्राफ? इट विल बी लाइक दिस, it will be like this. This is income beta, this is tax. जब income zero, I am paying a subsidy, तो tax negative, ये रहा टी बार। जैसे जैसे इनकम बढ़ेगी टैक्स बढ़ेगा, बट स्लोप कांस्टेंट नहीं है, रेट इंक्रीज होता जा रहा है। पहले आप टैक्स की जगह सब्सिडी दे रहे हो, फिर मे बी 10% टैक्स दोगे, फिर 20%, फिर 30%, टैक्स रेट इज इंक्रीजिंग। ओके, लेट्स मेक एन इंक्रीज इन टैक्स रेट। सो व्हेनेवर यू सी अ ग्राफ लाइक दिस, दैट इज प्रोग्रेसिव। बेटा बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है ये एग्जाम के लिए, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर एग्जाम। दिस इज अ प्रोग्रेसिव टैक्स। प्रोपोर्शनल लाइन, प्रोपोर्शनल का रेट चेंज नहीं होता, so proportional is assumed to be a line. Is this clear? Okay, fine, this is it that I wanted to explain. Let's go to the next question. Again a tricky one. देखो ध्यान से बेटा, calculate the current account balance. You are given export of goods, services, balance of visible trade and the transfers. Take a moment, try to do this yourself. So current account क्या होता है बेटा? Current account is export minus import plus net income abroad plus net current transfer. हाँ बेटा, when we talk about export and import ना, तो ये होता है export and import of goods and services. Right बेटा, क्लियर हुआ बात को? अच्छा बेटा, goods are also called visibles and services are called invisibles. तो इस क्वेश्चन में क्या ट्रिक किया ना, they have given you export of goods, but they have also given you balance of visible trade. Balance of visible trade माने they have given you export minus import of goods. ये वैल्यू है, this is x minus m of goods. ठीक है बेटा, तो इसको नहीं कंसिडर करना. I already have x minus m of goods given to me. I don't have to consider anything else. Now can you tell me what is going to happen to the export of services? Is there any import of service given? No. So I will consider export as it is. So beta, this is x minus m. M is 0 of services. So I have to consider this value and this. I will not consider this value. Am I clear with it? This is the tricky part. They have given balance of visibles. So that means export minus import of good is given to you. Then they have given export of services. So import का जरूरत नहीं है, right? Import is not given, so I will consider export as it is. So now this implies this should not be considered. Now I am leaving it up to you. Everyone will post in the answer comment section what is going to be the current balance trade. Current account balance, right beta? Okay beta, so what is Gaussian's second law saying? Gaussian's second law, basically it talks about your law of equimarginal utility. So beta, there are two laws that we have. The first one that we have, that is called law of diminishing marginal utility, है ना? वो नहीं, that's the first law. We are talking about the second law, which is law of equimarginal utility. And beta, what does that say? It says that mux by muy should be equal to px by py. इसको अगर हम थोड़ा सा और सोचें, तो this is very simple. This is nothing but this is saying MUX क्या होता है? MUX by MUY. This is nothing but this is your MRS. And we are equating MRS to PX by PY. So beta, this is nothing but your tangency condition. So I have this as budget line and this as my IC and this is my equilibrium. So we have got that the equilibrium condition is where we see the tangency between indifference curve and the budget line. अच्छा, अब ध्यान से समझते हैं. If I talk about the assumptions here, what are the different assumptions that we have? The first thing which is important here is that marginal utility is a cardinal concept. Marginal utility को हम कैसे measure करते हैं? We measure it in terms of numbers, right? So ordinality indifference curve का concept हो गया. But जब तक Gaussian was talking about marginal utility or Marshall was talking about marginal utility, they were talking in terms of numbers, right? So we have to understand that marginal utility is a cardinal concept. Take the next thing. It assumes rationality of consumers. So we assume that consumers are rational. मतलब I will take decision based on what is best for me, based on maximizing my utility. So I am going to go ahead and act rationally. What's the third thing? There is no time gap. कोई time gap नहीं है. If I am consuming the first unit today, consumption should be consecutive. अभी ही दूसरा यूनिट कंज्यूम करूंगी, अभी ही तीसरा, and so on and so forth. It should not happen that I consume the first unit today and the second unit tomorrow. Then this rule will not be there. The next is there should be fixed income and taste and preferences should be unchanged. And better the last is I should be maximizing satisfaction. तो ये जो भी हम कर रहे हैं, why are we doing this? Because we want to maximize the utility of the consumer. हमें consumer की utility को maximize करना है. और वो utility कब maximize होगी? जब tangency attain होगी indifference curve और budget line की. और उसी के लिए वो rule था equimarginal utility का, right? So, beta, if I now come to the question back, we have to understand rational behavior of consumer एकदम ठीक है, consumer is rational. Cardinal measure of utility एकदम ठीक है, utility is measured in numbers. Comparability of utility, now I am not comparing utilities, I am finding where my utilities are equal from different products, right? Desire for attaining satiety, I aim to go ahead and achieve the maximum level of satisfaction. So there are such questions now. These can come as part of your MSQ also. ये questions MSQ में भी आ सकते हैं. And we know that in GATE you have multiple select questions as well. And it can go ahead and come in that. हाँ बेटा. Okay. So बेटा ये देखो ध्यान से समझनी है बात को. A is the right assumption. This is an assumption. Comparing utility is not an assumption. ये assumption नहीं है. Equality of utility result है. Assume नहीं कर रहे हैं तो no. And consumer desires to attain satiation या bliss या maximum utility, yes. So third point is not assumption. It is a result that we want to get equal marginal utilities. समझे बात को? So answer should be A, B and D. Okay बेटा, come to the next question. ठीक है जी. The next question is this. Which of the following is not the probability based sampling technique? So 4 techniques are given to you. I'm giving you a minute. Try to solve this. Tell me which of these is not a probability based sampling technique. So we will try to think that there are 2 kinds of sampling techniques. Probability based and non-probabilistic. प्रोबेबिलिटी बेस्ड सैम्पलिंग टेक्निक्स वो सैम्पलिंग टेक्निक्स होती हैं जिसमें रैंडमनेस इन्वॉल्व होती है. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल, if I am saying that I will take 3 people to a village for research, and in my class there are 50 students, and I want to randomly select who will be going. तो क्या कर सकते हैं? I can put each of their roll number in a chit. I can put all those chits in a box. I can select 3 chits, and जो भी बच्चे आए I can take them. That's completely random, completely probabilistic, right? So when I talk about a probabilistic approach means random approach, right? So the probabilistic approach has 4 main sampling techniques under it. क्या क्या होती हैं? Random, simple random, systematic, stratified and cluster, right beta? I think there is a lecture present on these techniques that I have recorded on our YouTube channel only. हाँ, try to see that lecture बेटा. उसमें मैंने ये सारी sampling techniques को explain किया है. And within cluster ना there are 2, which is single stage and multi-stage. Right बेटा? So when I talk about cluster, stratified and multi-stage, ये तीनों ही probabilistic techniques हो गई. These are probabilistic techniques. The only non-probabilistic technique is snowball. So students who are studying with me, पूरा 1 to 1.5 hours we have dedicated on this topic in stats, है ना? So try to revise this. Okay. Fine, beta. Let's go to the next question. Let me just erase this. Okay, but look at the third question. Which of the following are components of the capital market? 5 are given to you. Let me give you a brief till then. Try to answer till then. Huh? So, but when I talk about financial markets, financial market can be divided in 2 parts: money market, capital market. Money market is a market which is the short-term market, maximum 1 year तक का ले. Capital market is a market which is medium and long-run market. So when firms need money for long-run purpose, जैसे I need money to buy machine, I won't be able to repay within 1 year. I need money for factory, I won't be able to repay within 1 year. Then I will be approaching the capital market. But if I need money for short-term purpose, जैसे for example for working capital requirements, कि I want to buy raw material, that can be repaid within 1 year, then I will be approaching the money market, right beta? So whenever you need money for medium or long-run purpose, that is when you will be approaching the capital market. Within capital market, you have 2 points here. एक को बोलते हैं primary market और एक को बोलते हैं secondary market. When I talk about the primary market, it is when firms directly sell to the one second. So when I talk about the primary market, it is when firms directly sell to the consumers. जैसे for example shares, equity, है ना, debentures, debt. बहुत केस में when I am issuing the share, firm is issuing to the customer. Like अभी जब Zomato का आया था या LIC का आया था, firm directly issued share to the customer. That is primary market. Now suppose I purchased LIC share using some app, जैसे Zerodha से मैंने खरीद लिया. Now I want to sell you that share. That will take place through the secondary market. So when it is the second resale of these shares, that is secondary market. The first sale that takes place through the primary market. ठीक है बेटा, कमिंग बैक टू द क्वेश्चन नाउ. सो सिक्योरिटी मार्केट्स जो होती है, गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटी हो या इंडस्ट्रियल सिक्योरिटी, these are long run markets, so these are capital in nature. लॉन्ग टर्म लोन लिखा है तो ऑटोमेटिकली कैपिटल हो गया. बट कमर्शियल बिल्स, टी बिल्स जो विद इन 365 डेज के लिए इंट्रोड्यूस किए जाते हैं, दे आर ऑल शॉर्ट टर्म मार्केट्स, तो ये मनी मार्केट में आ गए. So these are B and C are part of the money market and A, D, E are part of the capital market. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, beta, come to the next question. Which of the following are qualitative methods of control of credit creation practiced by RBI? बहुत ही simple question है. So we know that, ये बहुत clear है हमें, that open market operation and variable reserve ratio. बेटा open market operation क्या होता है? Purchase and sale of securities. Reserve ratio क्या होता है? SLR, CRR, repo rate, reserve repo rate, इन सब से जब हम फ्लक्चुएट करते हैं, repo rate, reserve repo rate को keep it separate, SLR या CRR को जब हम फ्लक्चुएट करते हैं, that's reserve ratio. These two, these are quantitative measures. These are quantitative measures. But credit rationing मतलब क्या? When you fix the amount of credit, आप उस पे एक seal लगा दो, you do a ceiling that you cannot give credit more than this. जैसे for example बेटा something like this, हाँ. So let's say this is the market of loanable funds. ये demand है, ये supply है. Let's say these are the loans that are coming at equilibrium and this is the interest rate. Now I go ahead and I put a ration कि इससे ऊपर loans नहीं देते हैं, right? Then it is credit rationing, right? So credit rationing is a qualitative measure. अच्छा, now you know that, देखो when we were talking about the period of 2008, तो तब क्या हुआ था? That the credit that used to be given, उसमें ना not a lot of checks were made, so you had a very bad quality of credit that you were giving. Not bad quality of credit, but that turned out to be SAR. बहुत लोग repay ही नहीं कर पाते थे credit को, right? And then you know there was also something which was known as evergreening of loan. Evergreening of loan क्या होता है बेटा? जब एक लोन को रीपे करने के लिए आप दूसरा लोन लो, जैसे मैं अपना हाउस लोन नहीं रीपे कर पा रही हूँ तो मैंने एक पर्सनल लोन लिया और उससे हाउस का पे कर दिया. दिस इज एवरग्रीनिंग ऑफ लोन. आप एक से दूसरा, दूसरे से तीसरा रीपे कर लो. सो ड्यूरिंग द पीरियड ऑफ 2008 व्हेन देयर वाज दिस क्राइसिस दैट केम, देयर वर अ लॉट ऑफ NPAs, नॉन परफॉर्मिंग एसेट्स विद बैंक. तो तब बैंक्स में ना बहुत ज्यादा आकर रिस्ट्रिक्शंस पुट की गई. वी प्लग्ड इन अ लॉट ऑफ रिस्ट्रिक्शंस whereby we said now you have to check the CIBIL score, now you have to check the income of the person, now you have to check this, that, right? So that is what is called as credit rationing. You ration, I mean that's one aspect of it. You also see the quality to whom you are giving credit, right? But the last is called as margin requirement. Okay, so let's see what is margin requirement. So imagine the following. Imagine that you have taken a house loan, right? Now when you take a house loan, you have to keep some collateral. Collateral मतलब कि क्या? लोन लेने के लिए जो बैकग्राउंड में सिक्योरिटी रखते हो. So to take house loan, let's say I keep my house itself as collateral. So I tell banks कि ठीक है, in case I am not able to repay my loan, then you can just take this house with you. This house has some value. I have taken loan worth some money. the difference between the value of the collateral and the value of the loan. That is called as margin. Margin क्या होता है? The difference between value of collateral and value of loan is called as margin. So margin requirement is also a qualitative measure. This is also something you should be knowing. So what will be the answer to this question? Beta, C and D. They are the right answers. Okay. Let's go to the next question. Okay, beta. So it says that you are given two regression equation. Y is equal to a plus bx and x is equal to c plus dy. And what is the correlation coefficient? What is the correlation coefficient between x and y? बहुत simple है. But what is our correlation coefficient? It is b by x into bxy under root. What are b by x and bxy? Slope coefficients. कैसे आते हैं स्लोप कोएफिशिएंट्स? रिग्रेस करके. What do you regress? You regress y on x and x on y. So beta, when you regress y on x, you get one slope coefficient. When you regress x on y, you get another slope coefficient. You put those two slope coefficients, find their under root, and that is correlation coefficient. So what is the right answer to this question? A. Right? Under root of B. Is that clear? Okay. So the topic that I want to go ahead and that I want to take today, the topic for the day, that is basically covariance. So it is a very important topic from the point of view of CUET and from the point of view of GATE entrance exam. And in this we want to discuss questions on correlation and questions on covariance. Right, beta? Okay, let's take the first question for the day. Read out the question, try to do it yourself first, then I will explain you. The question says, it calculates the relationship between two variables and how one would change in response to change in another. जब एक वेरिएबल चेंज होगा, अल्फा चेंज होगा, तो बीटा कितने से चेंज होगा? By how much will beta change? This helps us to understand that also. So it gives us a magnitude of how one changes as another changes, and it is a relationship between two variables. So which of the following is correct? But comparison तो नहीं हो सकता. You are not comparing two variables. Causality भी नहीं हो सकता. Causality भी नहीं हो सकता. One is not causing the other. It's a relationship between two. So it will either be correlation or it will be covariance. यही दो चीजें हो सकती हैं. Either correlation or covariance. Only these two things are possible. Actually speaking, both of them are correct. दोनों ही correct हैं. Correlation is also correct and covariance is also correct. But if I want to define more in terms of magnitude, then I will be going with covariance. But both of them are actually the correct options in this case. So let us just read down the explanation for each of them, beta. So read it out. Covariance calculates the relationship. ये covariance की definition ही ये है. And because of the definition, I said we should be going with covariance. So it calculates the relationship between two variables and how one would change in response to the change in another. If it is positive, the relationship is direct. If it is negative, the relationship is indirect, inverse. Okay, a correlation has three distinct values, 1, 0 or -1. and it measures the link between two random variables. Actually, it's not true. A correlation, यहाँ पे आप लिख सकते हो, correlation is between -1 to 1, right? So suppose correlation is beta 0.96. This tells me there is strong positive correlation, and if it is -0.80, strong negative correlation, right? The impact, causality, the impact by which one event contributes to the production of the other event. तो causality क्या होता है कि green revolution की वजह से agriculture improve हो गया. Green revolution causes agriculture to improve. So it's a causality relationship. It is not a relationship between two variables. It is where one is causing the other. Right, beta? Okay, come to the next question. Read it out. Try to read it yourself. A population is said to be stationary if which of the following is true? So what is the meaning of stationary, beta? Stationary means non-changing. So when suppose मेरा output, if it does not change from one period to another, then I will call my output as stationary output. So population stationary का मतलब क्या हो गया? That the population should not change. But when will population change? What is population in period t plus 1? पिछले साल की population minus death plus birth. यही तो अगले साल की population होगी. So if I am saying that population should not change, what do I mean by that? It means that population last year should be equal to population this year. Population को change नहीं होना चाहिए. So instead of pt plus 1, I can just put pt for stationarity. दोनों साल की population same होनी चाहिए. It should be the same. So this will cancel out. So 0 is equal to minus death plus birth. It means death rate is equal to birth rate. So in any economy where death and birth rates are equal to each other, that is basically a stationary population. So according to that, the answer should be A. Every year the number of birth is exactly equal to the number of death. Clear हुई ये बात बेटा? Okay, come to the next question. Read it out. Try to do it yourself first. करो बेटा. The covariance of x and y for given joint probability distribution is given by, and you are given that E of x is equal to 29 by 24 and E of y is 18 by 24. And you are given these probabilities. ये joint PDF करके एक table दिया हुआ है. You're given these probabilities and you have to find the covariance. So beta, what will be covariance? Covariance is given by the formula E of xy minus E of x into E of y. Covariance is given by E of xy minus E of x into E of y. बेटा जब भी किसी भी चीज की एक्सपेक्टेशन निकालनी होती है, whenever you have to find the expectation of anything, so E of xy can be given as summation P into xy, probability into xy. जिस भी चीज की एक्सपेक्टेशन निकालनी है, whichever expectation you have to find out, you must multiply it with probability and sum that over. Clear हुई ये बात एकदम? So summation P into x y. Okay. Okay. So beta, in this case, if I have to find out E of x y, what will that be? ध्यान से देखना, हाँ? Look very very carefully. Look very carefully, huh? So E of x y, this will be, ये है probability 0 0 होने की. So it will be 0 into 0 into 3 by 24 plus 0 into 1 into 8 by 24 plus 0 into 2 into 1 by 24 plus 1 into 0 into 2 by 24 plus 1 into 1 into 5 by 24 plus ऐसे बेटा एक एक को लेना है 1 into 2 into 2 by 24 plus 2 into 0 into 7 by 24 plus 2 into 1 into 1 by 24 plus 2 into 2 into 2 by 24 ऐसे करके एक एक बॉक्स देना है. I am finding E of xy. So probabilities have to be multiplied with this xy का combination. Okay बेटा, let's try to find this out now. What will be the answer to this? So I will get 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0. ये सारे 0 हो गए. So I will have 5 by 24 plus 4 by 24 plus 2 by 24 plus 2 into 2, 4 into 2, 8 by 24. This is what I will get. This is what I will get. Is that clear? तो अगर आप ध्यान से देखो यहाँ इस पूरे का तो 0 हो रहा है and this is also becoming 0. So ideally मेरे लिए सिर्फ यही matrix useful रहा. Only this matrix is useful for me. Right? So 5, 4, 2 and 8. This is correct. Huh? So beta here you will get 19 by 24. So this will be E of xy. This will be E of xy. ठीक है? Now you can go ahead and find the covariance through this formula. So this is what I have done here. So now you can just find this. I helped you find out this beta. This is coming as 19 by 24. So what did I say covariance will be? E of xy जो हमने 19 by 24 निकाल लिया minus E of x, E of y. And these two values are given to you. Huh? So 19 by 24 minus 29 by 24 into 18 by 24. So when you will solve this, you will get the answer as minus 11 by 96. And that's the answer to this question. Minus 11 by 96. I hope everyone is clear with the concept. Okay, beta. Look into the next question. क्या कहता है ये? Correlation coefficient between x and y. R is given as 0.8. Covariance is given as 121. Sigma y is 64. Sigma square y. Variance is given to you as 64. क्या find करना है बेटा? Sigma square x. Take a moment. Try to do this yourself. Very easy question. So what is the formula बेटा? क्या formula है? R is equal to covariance by sigma x into sigma y. R is given as 0.8. Covariance is given as 121. Sigma x नहीं पता. Sigma y. तो बेटा sigma square y. Variance y का दिया हुआ है 64. So what will be standard deviation of y? It will be root of 64. That means it will be 8. So standard deviation of y will be 8. Can you find sigma x for me? Quickly करके दिखाओ. Find sigma x बेटा. So this is your equation. Just find sigma x from here. So sigma x will be 0.8 into 8 by 121. ये sigma x हो जाएगा. ये variance of x के लिए क्या करेंगे अब हम? Standard deviation का whole square. So if I just square this up, it will be variance of x. Clear हुई बात? So I am just going ahead and I am simply using the formula, nothing else. कुछ और नहीं करना है. That's it. Okay बेटा? Try to see this. So correlation coefficient formula is R is equal to covariance by sigma x into sigma y. Covariance is given to you as 121. R is given to you as 0.8. Sigma y है under root of 64 because sigma square y 64 दिया हुआ है. Sigma x हमने निकाल लिया and इसको जब square करेंगे so you will get 357.59. Okay, look into the next question बेटा. ओके, क्या कहता है ये? x1 x2 till xn is a simple random sample without replacement of size n from finite population. Population size capital N. Population है n और sample है small n. Mean of the population is mu and variance is sigma square. Find the covariance. बेटा कोवेरियंस निकालना है सैंपल का. सैंपल के ये वैल्यूज हैं x1 till xn, सैंपल की वैल्यूज है. सो कोवेरियंस सैंपल का निकालना है. सो सैंपल का कोवेरियंस कैसे निकलेगा? वेरियंस ऑफ द पॉपुलेशन डिवाइडेड बाय n minus 1. तो ये कर लेते हैं हम. दैट इज इट दैट यू हैव टू डू. सो this is simply going to be variance of the population divided by n minus 1. So whenever you find the parameters of the sample, जिसको हम statics बोलते हैं. So whenever you find statics, you have to divide it by n minus 1. Clear हुई ये बात? Okay बेटा.